episode of Weekly Games Chat.
You sound too much like another voice. You gotta do that.
I'm Chris.
No, you gotta be Arthur.
As always, joined to my left by my cowpoke John.
Oh.
Because I said left.
Yeah.
And to my right, an annoying correcting fool who's going to get slapped in the
Uncle.
mouth if you keep it up.
Did you do that? Did you do that?
No, we don't do that in this game.
Did you do that?
That's a different one.
That's amazing.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Because your cheeks weren't
I
even
wet
moving.
my lips really good.
Anyways,
Just so that. It's gonna be up in a minute.
I should probably say your name.
Oh,
It's Shaun.
hey, how you doing?
How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good, man.
I'm refreshed because I've been off for 5 days.
Yeah, I'm actually. If you listened last week, John, I believe it was you. I don't think I did. You said, God help us because Chris will not be seen for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
The launch of Red Dead was coming out. Chris had taken time off work. You didn't see him on social media.
A little bit, not too much.
Yeah, and when I walked in today, the house smelled fresh. He looked clean.
I was like, I set an alarm for 3. I was like, okay, get
Get it together.
But no, I didn't. I did go out a little bit.
Yeah,
I went to high school football.
Domino's
And no Domino's. Actually, I ordered Papa John's.
Chipotle.
And then, yeah, I did get that one night. And then I went out for a beer on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, you're a lost boy on Saturday because normally.
Where did you get your beer?
I went down to Jarfly.
Oh yeah,
A new place.
No, you're supposed to say the saloon, Chris.
It's not saloon.
but for the theme, Chris,
I can't do that.
you should have said
If I had gone to
the saloon called Jarflies. Chris.
I would maybe go with CBC if I'd gone there. I'd be like, I went to the saloon because that's a saloon.
He's supposed to transform this podcast into Red Dead.
It's because I decided to play and he got out of character. You do it from now on.
I don't want to do it.
But yeah.
Characters.
Besides that, I really only did one other thing this whole weekend. Oh, I watched the Redskins Sunday because they were on TV.
I watched the Red Sox beat the Dodgers in the World Series.
I did watch that too. I watched the final 2 innings.
How you doing, John?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's there's a kindred spirit between Red Sox and Brooklyn Dodgers history of because both teams just hate the New York Yankees with a passion.
I think that's all teams.
And so that's fun. But there's a specific animosity with those teams that we proudly put the hatred on our shoulders and
it's not there.
yeah, anyway. So
I saw a joke earlier where someone taken Clay Kershaw's face and fused it into the sad Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah, the classic crybaby face.
Yeah, cry
Are
face.
you thinking a little baseball talk?
Poor Kershaw with $33 million a year.
Yeah, and 20-something home runs as he pitches in the postseason. That people hit off of him, but
Not that many.
Maybe
a couple.
It's over 20 in his career in the postseason. People have hit home runs off of him.
Oh,
Yeah.
career. You said postseason as in
Like this current person.
Yeah.
If I said that, I'm sorry. But do you think he's going to stay and hang around?
You need to back up, friend. Sorry.
Kershaw?
Yeah, I think his contract is saying that he can opt out, John.
Ooh. Kind of like LeBron did.
When you stay on a team for that long, what is he? He's 30 now.
I think he's 33.
No, he's 30. I think he's going to stay if he can. I think anybody would. I think anybody would love to start and retire on the same team.
It's back-to-back, like, deep runs in the playoffs, World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got a good thing going.
You won 3 Cy Young Awards on that team? Was it 2? Maybe it was 2.
Yeah. He's, I guess he'll probably do whatever gets him the most money, right? $32 million.
I don't, like running backs in the NFL when they hit in the 30s, that's like it, right? They're done. They start becoming different players. I don't know what pitchers do when they hit 30. I don't know if they keep going. Not everybody's a Nolan Ryan.
Everyone's different, right? Because what was his face?
What, Chris?
What was the guy? He was on Texas and like he was always all right, and then he hit like 32, and for the next 3 years he was just great. He got traded to Philly. They won the World Series with Roy Halladay and Ryan Howard and all those guys. I can't remember his name now.
Hamels?
It wasn't Cole Hamels, but Cole Hamels, when he kind of started off slow and got good too.
Cliff Johnson?
I can't remember his name, but like, you know, it does happen in baseball, like where some players
Went
like
to the Phillies, Chris?
yeah,
Spooky Turner?
I can't remember.
We got to remember.
I can't remember his name.
Because this is going to generate somebody listening going,
Come on!
How did I know it was,
Hold on. I can look at stats.
I don't think you can look at stats.
Yeah.
I think you need to Google who got traded from the Rangers to Phillies and was better after 30.
Let's go back to like.
Y'all think I'm kidding, but when you Google that specific, it always gives you the answer.
Hold on. We'll look at.
And dead air.
I can't.
It's just baseball, guys.
Cliff
Nobody
Lee.
cares.
That's who I'm
Cliff
thinking of.
Lee.
Cliff
That's
Lee.
the guy.
I'm sorry.
That's
yeah,
the
he
guy.
went to Cleveland.
He found the guy.
That's right. He went to like Cleveland. He went to. I thought he went from Texas at one point. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, he was on Texas.
But he was with Philly
And he
first.
went to Philly for 1 year, and then look, like
No, you got it backwards. He was at Cleveland first, then the Philly,
okay.
then to Texas, then back to Philly. Chris, see,
Yeah.
seasons go in year.
Oh, okay. I
That
did
guy's
read
weird.
backwards. But like
That guy's weird.
You see here, like before, his highest was 18. All of a sudden, he had this like 22 win season, right?
Yeah.
And this is like pretty deep in his career, or at least towards the back half of it. So I don't know. It does happen. It's rarity. Most are not Roger Clemens though, but he had some
steroids.
Yeah, he had help.
Allegedly.
Well, Kershaw's the best pitcher in the league. I mean, just the hand. I mean, that's hardly debated. I mean, he's widely considered the best pitcher in the league.
Who are you going to counter with? If you want to be Mr. Counter guy.
The guy can go, but my point is, the guy can go in. He can, if he wants to stay, he's going to stay. He can go anywhere he wants.
Right, he's legit.
Nobody's going to turn him
I like
down.
your point.
I will look at the stats just to make sure.
Why do you got to have stats? The name Kershaw comes right up. You can go Scherzer. You're going to say
could go
John
with-
Lesta.
You could say Jacob deGrom.
Reese-
Scherzer has been on point for long. Yeah, Verlander I've always been a big fan of.
But he's
Verlander won me a few fantasy baseball titles.
He's dipped down a little bit.
Yeah, well, he's old now.
And he's also got him a pretty hot little supermodel wife.
Yeah, he does.
Just saying. Do you not know who that is?
Look at Blake.
I've heard
now.
things.
I've heard things.
He's looking like a little kid.
But the guy, the
Bueller.
pitched Game 3, which I feel sorry for anybody who didn't stay up till 3 a.m. not to watch that game. That was one of the best World Series games I've ever seen, and it's not just because the Dodgers actually won that one. I will never forget that game. But Bueller was phenomenal pitching in that game, and it was really funny. It was a really amazing moment. It shows him walking off the mound with the camera behind him, and off to the left, Sandy Koufax stands up and just applauds him, gives him a standing ovation.
Koufax.
And we all know Sandy Koufax is the greatest pitcher who ever
in Dodger
lived.
history. Oh, okay.
Nah.
Who ever lived.
Dodger history.
Yeah.
Ever
Dodger
lived.
Yeah.
Do you think
By the way,
Oral
that's who I was
Hershiser?
thinking. I was wondering where he was.
The old Bulldog
That's who I would take.
isn't as
over
good as
him.
Koufax? Is Koufax only good to you because of you didn't really see him play, the legends?
I've seen him play.
Oh.
You weren't alive when he played.
Kim Burns.
Ken
Baseball.
Burns, baseball documentary made it happen.
What was it? 3 Cy Young Awards, 4 triple crowns, and twice was
triple
named.
clowns.
Twice was named
Super Bowl MVP.
most valuable player, and he retired before he was 35 because he said, "You know what? I want to have use of my arm when I'm in my 60s and 70s."
I don't think that's why.
The best pitcher
That's
ever.
exactly what he said.
The real question, though, John, is not about Kershaw. It's not about any of that other mess, Cliff Lees of the world. It's about why do you have a water?
That's funny.
I like that. So Aiden has been on this. He's not been on it. We put him on. Last time he was at the doctor, he had high cholesterol, and he's 13 years old. So we gotta tighten that up.
How's that even possible?
He probably me fed him a lot of crap.
Yeah.
So recently we took him back for his follow up. We'd been having him on there's nothing more entertaining than forcing a 13-year-old to eat healthy.
That is true.
Temper tantrums and whininess and just constant battles to where you almost want to get to the point where you're like, you just shove a pizza down his throat so he'll shut up. But anyway,
you guys want to do
it's
some
like the
pizza?
hardest thing too, because it's not like someone who, like a young kid who is just born with something.
Yes.
And therefore you, from a very young age, kind of make them accept this is the way life is.
Yep.
Like you're diabetic
Exactly.
and you're going to have to deal with that all of your life.
And so today, my wife,
Your wife
asked me to leave work early, go pick Aiden up, take my phone, go downtown, right where Chris's parents live, and do a Pokemon Go raid.
Cool.
For a legendary rare Pokemon.
and it was.
I wish my dad had
I
come
don't
out
know what
on
it
the front
was. It
porch.
looked freaky, but he caught it. So apparently when you battle the Pokemon and then you have to try to catch it. And it's like a hit or miss. No, seriously. I mean, with this one, you either catch it or you don't. Some people get lucky, some people don't.
Right?
They
Don't
give
they?
you,
Oh.
they give
Kind of
you,
like a roll.
they give you a white ball, Pokeball, and it doesn't have any special abilities or powers. You just have what
Neutrality.
you have. Exactly.
Net neutrality.
It's Switzerland
Whoa.
for sure. So anyway, back to the point.
Of your water.
Aiden, I was told that we needed to feed Aiden before we take him to Treadstone, which is the rock climbing place. And so
where?
he said, I said, so you got to get something healthy. And he looks at me and goes, how about a fish sandwich from Burger King? I'm like, that's fried. Anyway.
And
said-
terrible.
He doesn't quite understand how it works.
I said,
fish.
look, if you want the fish sandwich, you need to text your mom. And so she says, yeah, you can have the fish sandwich. Just get something healthy as a side. And
From
so
Burger King.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Side salad.
So I'm thinking, some apples or something like that. Burger King ain't got jack.
They got Jack.
It's pathetic. Anyway, we pull up to the drive-thru. I don't know this yet. And I'm like, what do you got as a side? We got salad. I'm like, okay, fine. He goes, what about just 2 fish sandwiches? I'm like, that's twice the fried food. He
doesn't-
like you said, he
yeah.
doesn't understand
He's like,
it.
it's fish.
He's like, it's fish, exactly.
Yeah.
And so,
Remind me,
Hence
if
the
he
water.
ever becomes a doctor, I'm not going to him.
Wait, you got that water from Burger King of all places?
yeah, it's like, I'll just have a water, thinking that they would just put ice and water in a cup, but no. They
No.
charged me for a bottled water.
See, the pretext to all this is John usually has
3 liters of
it's
Diet Dr. Pepper.
3 GD liters of cola.
if he's got a topic, we have to hook him up to an IV first. Otherwise, he may pass out.
And he's in this. It's got like a big titanium steel looking cup, and he's just guzzling.
Yeah, my liver's a pickle.
And today he just has a
so
water.
is mine. For a different reason. Oh, wait.
Yeah, alcohol, Chris.
Yeah.
because you drink.
The audience is fully aware.
Yeah, the drunk show. It's a show of legends.
I don't know if you know this. I'm debating whenever I record the music episode, right? Because it's just putting together clips, right?
Don't be drunk at Christmas.
I'm so gonna I'm gonna start out
With
and
eggnog?
I'm gonna record a blurb, drink about 2 beers, come back, record another blurb.
You're gonna forget to record the second blurb.
But you see, the thing is that I can just do it again the next day.
You'll be hungover, and then before you know it, it'll be a blurbless Christmas special.
Don't worry,
Oh,
I'm a veteran.
you get hungover.
There's no such thing as the rookie, hangover syndrome anymore.
We
I'm not like, this isn't game 30 for my rookie year in the NBA. Okay. I'm LeBron.
Oh, but fun fact.
Ooh,
We don't talk about Pokemon Go that much.
we haven't in a while. Yeah,
Which we don't, because quite frankly, no disrespect. I
Talk
don't
about
care.
any mobile games, really.
Yeah. I mean, we're not that into it. But I went down there. Dude,
There's still a ton of people.
there's still a ton of people
Yeah, it
that
hasn't
care
gone
about
away.
this game. It's like phenomenal.
this is
I saw Jeff Schultz down there.
This is the whole thing about the, you know how there's more people than just us in the world, and that's why things that stay big, and when we move on.
Yeah.
The Pokemon Go, dude, they're getting updates, and everybody still plays it, and they still do it. It's just not a mainstream news thing. It's not hitting our radar or our blurb.
Well, we don't think of it in terms of gaming, right? Like, whereas the majority of these people are probably doing it, they don't think of themselves
As
particularly
gamers,
as gamers.
it's just
Yeah.
casual fun.
It's a thing they have on their phone, and it's fun for them to do. So they invest time, and then they put it down, they come back and do it again.
Dude, but that's why everything Pokemon that is released on Nintendo is going to sell a gajillion units.
Yeah, hopefully.
potentially. Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
I am interested to see how that does.
I don't
That's
know.
good, Sean. I want more. I want you to be my alarm clock.
What?
That means you got to nudge me in the morning. What?
What?
Whoa,
What?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. With my Richard.
Anyways, Redskins won.
Yeah, they did.
We're 5-2.
Yeah.
We're in control of our destiny.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's because you're in a division with the Cowboys.
And thankfully the Giants.
Well, Kirby Smart in the first half of the game on Saturday put fake Georgia Bulldogs into the game, and then in the second half, he put in the real Georgia Bulldogs.
See, what happened was
That was a weird game.
it's
Kinda
always
went how
it
I
always
thought it
is.
was gonna go.
Dude, yeah, against Florida, it's one of those kind of games, right? Kirby went in there and he did what they call chewed out their a-holes,
Yeah.
During the half,
and he went, "You better go out there and make them, quit.
he's like, I am not
If we lose to
losing
Florida,
to Florida this year after you
but Florida looked
effed me with LSU.
Florida looked okay. I mean, they're definitely coming around as far as the program goes.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you told anyone that team how they looked last year,
Yeah.
that the only thing significant you're going to get was Dan Mullen, and you're likely going to finish the year with only 2 losses, right? Unless they just blow one here and down the stretch. I'm ecstatic if I'm Dan Mullen. I don't know how you could not be ecstatic, because it's like he's sitting there thinking, I don't even have my quarterback yet. And anyone who knows Dan Mullen,
He's gonna.
I
get a
know
guy.
him. Good guy.
He's consistently shown an ability to whoever he recruits, even if they're not considered a top prospect at quarterback in the United States. He finds people that that he knows how to coach up and make work for his scheme. Because like you see it this year, Nick Fitzgerald, is that his name?
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You did it.
He's had a good year, but he's had some struggles, and he doesn't look anything like
Like
a
he did
quarterback
last year.
when he
But
was
he also
under Dan
he's
Mullen.
he's been injured. There could be an asterisk to that.
Sure.
It could be what it is. But look,
Yeah.
who would have thought Florida loses McElwain as their coach in back-to-back SEC championship games?
Sure.
Then your coach is gone, and then you're like, okay, well, how long is it going to take? And Mullen's coming in there, and he's got the state of Florida to recruit in. I mean, he made Mississippi State competitive
Yeah.
for the most part in the SEC West.
And the way Florida State looks right now, is anyone going there right now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're right.
Ugh.
I mean, and then there's Miami. The best
Miami,
team.
well, Miami's got the South
Dude,
Park.
Central Florida is probably getting all the recruits in Florida.
Pretty much.
UCF, that's funny. But
UCF.
I visited that campus one time in college.
yeah,
UCF?
Beautiful
Yeah,
campus.
Yeah, it's like in Orlando, right?
yeah,
Their frat houses,
yeah.
they're all made of marble.
Oh,
And they got these marble Greek columns. They're crazy.
So they're rich.
I guess.
I wonder if it's
Beautiful
like that
campus, beautiful
I
school.
wonder if it's like that at Vanderbilt.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
there's just a bunch of Vanderbilt
Anderson Cooper just walks around there.
mansion, but like
I own this
miniature
school.
Vanderbilt houses.
Yes. Mini Biltmores.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I feel like I had something else to say earlier.
I saw
but
Halloween.
I didn't.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. How'd that
came
go?
out.
Thanks
It
for
was
the
very
text.
good.
I did
It
it,
was very
John.
good. I
Watch that. Thanks for inviting me.
when my wife wants to go to a movie with me.
You can still take Shaun.
Nope.
What?
It's too special, man. She never. It's not
What
personal.
are you
She never
doing?
goes to the movie with me.
I want to thank you
Never
for
does.
Neither does my wife.
your wife. Oh, wait.
It's good. It works.
By the way, I don't know what kind of cookout you had, but I was hurt.
What cookout?
Because
We heard.
you had some kind of bonfire and things, and
You did.
and it said family, and friends.
No,
and
I
was
wasn't
just
there. No, that was not. I was not there.
well, I'm a little hurt by Clarissa then.
Yeah, she went to see her friend, and
Oh,
it was
okay.
their thing. I stayed home to
Well,
play.
I should have still been invited.
You're right.
just the angry tech. No.
You stayed home to play what?
What were you playing, John?
Assassin's
Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I saw him on there playing.
Sean, you know what? I apologize.
Do you do a late?
No, we said we'd go see Halloween. I completely forgot about that.
That's honestly
That
fine.
is my bad.
It's fine.
I shouldn't have done that.
Well, what I'll do is
The
not invite you
heck
to lunch
with my wife.
Oh,
What?
What?
Well, you do that anyways.
I know. That's why I did it. See, for the thing, and
If
you
you
came
invite-
through.
will you
High
invite
five.
me?
You came through.
Will you invite me? and non-by him?
I don't
and
know.
then we can like be.
I don't know. I can't
What's a
confirm.
place John loves that we can go to together?
Crystal.
That'd be hilarious. Like
Oh,
me.
yeah. Well, me and Chris, we just went to Crystal. We didn't think you'd want to go because
No. Even better.
I came out of retirement to go, but I didn't think you'd want to go.
Me, you, Slade,
You're right.
and Mike D. I'll go
You're
to
right.
Crystal.
All of that deserved.
No, we wouldn't do that. And I'm not really mad at you for going or anything like that. It's cool. I actually completely, and anyone with a wife understands
Wow.
this is real, John. Don't put your head down, big boy. Things.
For some reason, when Clarissa goes, my wife,
Yeah.
when
Your
Clarissa
wife.
goes to the movies,
Peak.
Hot.
the theater seats hurt her. I mean, they're just for some reason it's painful
Yeah,
for
she's
her to
so
sit in the
petite.
seats. But we got the recliner seats, so I
Those are nice.
I
They are
managed
nice.
I managed to get her to go with me by spending the $30 extra a
Those
ticket to get
I think it'd
recliner
be
seats.
hilarious if I went to one of those, put the seat all the way down and like whistled and Penny ran in, just like jumped up and just like looking at me. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
This is what I do.
This
This
is
is my thing.
This is premium.
I still want to check out Venom. At some
haven't seen
point.
it either.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
I haven't heard great things about the movie, the Halloween movie.
Oh, really? No.
The reviews I don't think have come out great.
Oh, yes, they have.
They have?
Yeah, it's like at an 80%.
Well, when I checked it,
I don't know.
it wasn't good.
So, I'll
So I
just
kind
look
of
it up.
dismissed it. And I was
Speaking of things not coming.
Plus, it made 70 million.
Yeah. Bohemian.
80%.
That's good. That's good
Yeah.
then.
Plus
I'm
it,
in.
plus
Hey,
it made
6.8 out of 10. Not bad.
it's
movie at all.
it's made 70 million in the first weekend.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
then
32 million over
Yeah.
the
That's
last
not
weekend.
725
Hey,
million.
hey,
but we'll get to that.
everything I just said right now, hey,
Mhm.
let's just go ahead and dismiss that, all right?
We'll just put this in your mouth.
There was for about an hour of the movie, I was like, this is like a remake of the first one, and then it did it.
Hey, speaking of
It
things
did
that
the
are
thing?
97%.
Then it went there.
John, you want to go see that movie with me? I hear it's pretty good.
Was that by the director of that other movie?
I can't.
Yes.
12 years.
No,
Oh,
that's
no.
not him. No, he's got something else. He's got
Coming out.
he's got that one with Liam Neeson and
This is great. I love when I do this to you guys.
I can't remember.
I
This is-
almost called
Is it Overlord? Or is that it?
What?
No, that's
That
the J.J. Abrams thing.
J.J.
Oh.
Abrams has a no movie?
I don't think he directed it, but
No, I
Overlord.
produced it.
Overlord, I am so in. It's like a World War II Call of Duty zombies mode.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he produced this.
This game, I'm sorry, this movie, I am in.
Well, I don't know any of the people in it, so that means I might like it.
Apparently, Night School.
Do you guys
wasn't
get to that
highly
point
received.
when there's somebody you recognize in a movie that is playing a role that they don't really fit in, they just stick
Sure.
out? They just
Yeah,
stick out.
there are certain things that people probably shouldn't do.
Yeah.
You know, like Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln. It was
What?
just complete.
He was perfect. He was perfect.
The pilot
I rewatched
in Dunkirk
that recently.
that ends up,
Oh, Tom Hardy.
he fit that role perfect.
Yeah, he did.
Great role.
I still haven't seen
Even
that.
you know what I have to say. Even Harry Styles in that movie
Right?
fit his role. Which,
Harry
if you
Styles
told me that,
Right?
and you know the best part was,
Isn't he a singer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's part
the
of a
best
group.
part
It's a little
was-
group called One Direction. It's no biggie.
the best part, Christopher Nolan, when he cast him, had no idea who he was. He just simply was casting a guy for a role. And then like after he got done, someone's like, you realize who that is? And he's like, who? And he's like, it's dude
They
from
pull
One
up
Direction.
YouTube, all
He's
the
like,
highlights.
What's One Direction? I don't
No.
know who that is.
It's a boy band.
It's a boy band.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So we're all going to go see The Grinch together?
If it's good, I'll see it.
I have to take my daughter.
I'm
So-
sure, yeah, you do. That's right. I keep
So,
forgetting children.
Yeah.
I saw there was a commercial with J.R. Smith for The Grinch. And I was like, why does J.R. Smith have a commercial with The Grinch?
Dude, why is Venom, what's
Number
the
3?
audience score?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure it's 87.
Wow. See,
See,
Why
that's
is
the
that-
thing.
See, that's the funny thing. You could see this as a political
Tony from Geek Versus
Uh-huh.
loved. I mean, I wouldn't say loved it, but he was like, it wasn't bad at all.
yeah.
BK was like, he was like, this is. He said something on Facebook. It's like, you guys expect way too much from
Dude, the
superhero movies.
Connors. We're bringing up things because I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes right now. People listening with your little earbuds right now.
The
The Connors have a
Yeah, that's
amazing
Without
tomato
Roseanne.
meter.
Yeah.
However, the audience does not like it.
That's a shocker.
Ooh.
It's almost like there's a divisive thing that's created.
Something happened, probably.
Maybe people aren't being fair,
Yeah.
or maybe actually watched it and are expressing outrage on the decision that was made.
Oh.
I don't know. That doesn't surprise me that it's good though, because I mean Roseanne was always good. So
Yeah, but I thought she was heavy in the show writing and stuff.
The early part, but I think last year it was kind of a collective thing. You know, it was more like, hey, do you like money?
Oh,
Come back to TV.
so it's Halloween.
Yeah, tomorrow. Or today, yeah.
Yeah, so we talked about Halloween the movie. But have any of you guys watched The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix?
It's on my list, but I've heard it's amazing.
Not scary in the sense
it's scary.
Not in the sense of
I've heard it's scary.
Boo, and you go not that kind of scary, but more like just creepy.
Yeah.
Sixth Sense weirdness, scariness.
I'm always looking for the next
thing.
It's gonna be
Dude, what's that show?
Jeez.
You gotta watch Ozark.
Oh yeah,
you gotta watch Ozark.
It's on my list too.
No, screw that. You need to watch freaking Game of Thrones.
Wait. That's still on the list?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Do you even know?
You got a laptop.
Have you even
put some earbuds on and sit in the room and watch it? I mean,
yeah.
You don't need to be on the
Download
55.
the HBO Go app. I'll give you my login info and freaking watch it on your phone when you need to. Okay? That's what you got to do. It's so worth it.
We're going to give it to you. It's worth it.
Either just watch it whenever Aiden's with his dad.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all you got to do.
So with that, pivot time.
Yeah, let's pivot let's mosey on over to the topic.
To the biggest game of the year.
I'm going to leave on that. Yeah, let's go.
Topic time.
The topic is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Bacon bits floating in ice water. Nasty. There you go.
All right, first of all,
That's not food.
That's a bacon bit. It's not even real bacon.
Bits of bacon.
If you put bacon in water and then pull it right out and then drink the water, it's phenomenal.
Whoops.
Yeah, that was my bad. I had to.
Did you do one on the mic?
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
You stupid son of a...
That's what we call a habit.
Yeah. That's the bad part.
He started scratching his beard.
Well, that's the bad part. Like sitting here for 5 days, I'm
also
sitting
crack.
here, and it's just like,
Are you not out of juice yet?
I'm almost down.
Where do you get your juice from?
There's a
local stop.
Yeah. I used to order online, but
That's
it's just convenient.
suspect, man.
No. It's affordable.
What is?
I'm not hearing myself.
I can't hear myself when I'm with you.
Is that better? I still really can't.
You're like coming. You're not. Look, your mic's messed up because.
Hold on, maybe this will help.
That's so funny. God, that's so. John adjusted Chris's windscreen for once. You're on right there.
Check.
You're just coming in, not so hot, man. Did you check your audio, man? Sometimes.
Just great. This is great. Just great radio.
I love it. Because we've been looking for this episode. It's been on the calendar.
Been on my calendar since the day it came out, which was, I don't know if you know, Shaun, 5 months before Assassin's Creed 2, or I'm sorry, Odyssey ever announced.
You mean the announcement?
Ever announced it existed, let alone its release date.
Do you know that you created a secret war between you and John? Not Josh.
And I had no idea.
He's like, who's this Josh and what's this war?
Secret war.
Because you went back and you had to prove that you were right. So now it's going to be the war of many, many years. It's going to continue.
John says things and
I never knew we were at war.
But you told me
it was a war of northern
text
aggression.
On that burner phone that you got.
I don't think John
But think about where we're at now, right, Chris? John,
yeah.
We're at a point now where just the other day I was at my house and in my hand, actually, because I was stacking them together.
Can we not talk about this?
Spider-Man.
Oh.
Call of Duty,
Yeah.
Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying these games we were looking for, and then Red Dead they're playable. They're in our hands. These are 3 really big titles at the beginning of the year.
Really, only 2 left after this.
What are you calling the next two?
Fallout and Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I mean, people love
Bros.
Smash Bros. So.
Yeah, they do.
Bros.
Yeah.
They also loves the Fallouts.
They do.
Except for me, but yeah. So, let's dive into this prequel.
All right, peaks.
Peaks and valleys, man. Just like a concert.
Yeah. So the hit sequel or most anticipated sequel to, the kind of biggest surprise hit, I think, in Rockstar's history. 10 years since we got, 8 years since we got the first one. And the question everyone wants to know, did it live up to the reputation of the first one, I think? And we'll just get that one out of the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you want to go ahead and Richard it?
10.
10. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and
yeah,
give it
we'll
a
just
10.
go and say it's a 10.
Let's not even.
No. We'll just say it's 11. About 11 out of 10.
We're going to stretch out the 10 scale and at least be a 13 out of 10. I was telling me and Brad.
That one hurts.
I know. Spider what?
Huh?
No,
God
that length of a Richard
God
has
of
got to
who?
be.
It's like
tickling.
That
tickling
God
the
of War is
esophagus.
still in the conversation.
It's not.
It is.
Well, we know what we'll see because God of
Yeah.
War, I've seen the end.
Well, God of War is a linear game.
Why do you bring the word linear into this?
There is a,
Why'd you do
surprisingly, Red Dead actually starts out linear.
Yes, it does.
The first
What?
couple hours are very linear.
What?
And it's by design.
Yeah.
Because it gives you the basic setup of where these people are. So for those who are unfamiliar, this game takes place in 1899, which is about 12 years before the events of the first game. You're playing as Arthur Morgan, who's kind of the right-hand man to Dutch Vanderlyn, who, of course, from the first game we know, headed up the Vanderlyn gang, which John Marston was a part of and then left. And kind of Red Dead, for those who are unfamiliar.
Spoilers.
Red Dead is the story of John Marston being charged by the government to hunt down those people who still remain to basically get his freedom.
Because in this setting, the gangs is 1899, like Chris said, and the gangs, they're pretty much they're being hunted by the government because the Wild West isn't so wild anymore. The taming of of the wild stuff, civilizations taking over.
Stuff. We're the wild stuff.
And they're kind of like one of the last of the few things. So
Last of the few things.
yeah,
I can't wait to go back and listen to this.
I'm looking at. I'm trying to be as like that as possible, John, because his face, he's just turning red. He's trying to hold it in.
Last of the few things.
Yeah, they're the last of the gang.
I hope there's a point when I get confronted by Pinkertons late in this game. You're like, you're the last of the few things, right?
You will lose all of your S. You know that, right?
Look, it's a Mohican.
God.
What?
The
last of the
I got it. But yeah. So it's cool to know that perspective where if you already played
Daniel Day-Lewis.
if you played when you played Red Dead, it was like already it was done. Like you it's cool to see now this side of the story is where I'm getting at.
Yeah. The first game to me, I think, is very much a take on Unforgiven, right? It's about a solo man who was part of a lifestyle that was bad and he knows it was bad, right? And the question being, can he redeem himself and live a good normal life? Like, can he fit in that society? That's what Red Dead is about, the first one. And that's not what this game is about at all. This game is about kind of the idea of, something we kind of forget, but it always still seems to be prevalent to some extent in politics in America, but it's about that period that we don't think about where there was this period, especially after the Civil War, but it started beforehand going out west, where you had these people who were the idea that they didn't care about what the government said. They didn't care about the rules of the East and what society said.
Right.
It was, we're going to go out here and we're going to live off the land. We're going to do what we need to. If we have a problem with someone, we're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
And if it means that person has to eventually die,
Then they gotta die.
Yeah,
They
they
gotta
gotta
go.
die. It's that idea. And that's kind of what like Dutch Vanderlyn's whole entire thing is going into this game. You kind of get it very quickly and you could see why it's very alluring to these people because he he rewards those who are loyal to him. He protects them. He doesn't like extort them in a mean or evil way.
And they seem to be able to kind of go as they please and
Yes.
come back as they please, which was, I guess, my idea of Dutch.
Mhm.
Now, everybody knows I didn't finish Red Dead 1. Chris said I was very close to getting to a point that if I would have kept playing, I
Yeah,
would have.
you dropped off where I think like was the biggest pitfall of that game, which is Mexico. Like most people, if they quit on that game, is Mexico.
But I've seen online stuff. I've read Wikipedia. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos on Red Dead 1, and the way that Dutch is portrayed.
Yes, 12 years later,
it's a little different.
Yeah,
Than this Dutch, and you almost find yourself kind of respecting Dutch and understanding where they're coming from in a way.
Yeah, at this point you could tell he hasn't completely lost it and is
Yeah.
just trying to do everything to hold on it. He's getting to there.
Yeah.
As it's becoming more apparent and harder for him. But like in the original game, like when he finally shows up, he's gotten to the point where he's like kind of he's fallen in with Native Americans because they're the one group that he can kind of still speak to, like where he can go like, look, you're on these reservations and the government does not care about you and has taken everything from you. Join me and we can rebel against this and find the land that we call ours, which is kind of what he's doing in this game. But he's, speaking to people that he has had years of investment to versus where he is in that game. And I will say, in Red Dead, in the original one, he was much quicker to want to just take a life and kill whoever was in his way, including John Marston. Like he tries to take him out like 3 times in that game, I think. So
God, all the spoilers. Jeez.
Well, you had 8 years.
Well, here's the thing too. It's you as a character playing as Arthur. I feel more of a connection with Arthur than I did ever with John Marston in the first game. Early on, the way he talks, his voice acting, his charisma, everything about him is very, I almost want to say likable, even though he's kind of he's in a gang, if you will.
Yeah, he's not a good guy.
Yeah, he's not, but he's got like a code he references a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They reference a code. But Dutch, in this one, he like gives you power. He's like, hey, do what you want to do. Early on, there's a thing, he's like, hey, do you want to take lead or do you want to not? And that's kind of cool because you don't, I didn't expect that kind of direction from the Dutch that you saw from the first Red Dead.
Yeah, those are kind of slight. It's not like anything that affects the story.
No, not at all.
It's more of like just how do you want to approach this? Would you rather someone go in front or do you want to lead the show?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean,
You always led, right?
Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. It just depended what the situation was.
So are they, like you said, the first Red Dead, really focused on the concept of the West is fading away.
Yeah, it's
Does
gone.
this
It's
one
dead,
does
right?
this
pretty
one-
much
does
gone.
this one lean into this even because it's a prequel? I mean, are they leaning into the same hook or the same historical significance? Basically, guys, what you doing in here?
Well, really here,
Why a prequel? Tell me why a prequel.
because these are really interesting characters worth exploring. There are 4 people from the original game that reappear. Or no, wait, I guess it's a few more. Basically from the original game back on this one are Bill, Dutch, Uncle, who I always forget.
How do you forget that beard?
But like, it's just like so weird too, because like I really liked Uncle in Red Dead. And then like as soon as I've been dealing with him in this game, I'm like, I want to punch you so bad.
He's so annoying.
Because he's just like the old hoot who's just drunk at camp all the time. Then Abigail and Jack, right? John's wife and his son. I think
And John.
Yeah, and John. Yeah.
John's
I
not a
already said
spoiler.
John.
Obviously, because
Yeah, I knew he was in
everybody
Yeah.
that was announced, that was a huge thing,
So-
and they're like, "What? How's
So
he?
basically-
Why is he?"
But basically, going into this, like, okay, so there's 6 people that I could probably say, or I know definitively will survive the events of this game, right? Everyone else, I have no idea what's going to happen to them.
See, John, because they were in the original Red Dead.
Yeah.
But I think it's
which
more,
is a sequel to this one.
like I said, whereas the first game is very much a solo, like, here's a man looking for redemption. The tone of this game is more of like, I think it gets to what was all about that cowboy way of life, even though like we're seeing the downfall of it, right? it's that idea of like being in a camp of people and you're taking care of each other and, you're providing for one another. And if someone does wrong to one person in the camp, they've done wrong to everyone, and everyone will come to their aid regardless of the fact that, like a family, they fight, they have different viewpoints. Like Arthur is about the most cynical guy in this crew, and there are certain people you can tell because he's had relationships with them for so long that he just hates dealing with them. Like he has no trust in them as far as going into an event or, mission, whatever, versus others who you could tell he's like quickly like, hey, I respect what he does. Like, even if he doesn't talk much, he knows what to do or even does it right.
Or even new guys that are newer to the group.
Micah. Yeah, he does not like Micah.
Yeah. But it's fun to hear him kind of interact with, with everybody. And to be honest, John's our main character from the first Red Dead, and Arthur, early on at least, he ain't a big fan of old John Marsden. I'll tell you that much.
No, he ain't.
So that's a nice little dynamic that's added. And Chris you're a lot farther than me.
Yeah.
Farther than me. So
farther.
How'd they say it back then?
Birder.
Yeah. Further.
And that way you could be like, yeah, that's what I said. I'm from what I've gathered, there are 6 chapters, so to speak, in the game. The first one's pretty short because it's just the opening period,
which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Afterwards, like to get from chapter 2 to chapter 3 took a while, and I finished chapter 3 last night.
Dope.
And yeah, that has one of the best just images I've seen in a video game. And the fact that it was just me playing the game and it looked that good, like the image of it. I wasn't in cinematic mode or it wasn't in cutscene at that point. I was just riding up to this and I was like, this is everything that I love about Westerns right here. The music is just getting the tone, and you're kind of just waiting for, it's coming. It's about to go down, and you're like, okay, let's see.
Curious, how is the game design set up? You got this open world, and like Odyssey, you've got these different tiers of things that you can do aside, because as they said, the story is 60 plus hours.
Yeah,
but the way you play these games, Chris, you're not just taking advantage of the 60. You're going to probably be in there for 180 hours. Yeah. So what is keeping you busy in this world?
Basically, what's cool about this world, I think, is that
that's a good question.
You start from your camp, right? And maybe there's a mission, like a side thing you need to go do for someone that's like way on the other side of the map. So you leave camp and you start riding out, and it takes you 10 minutes to get out there, right? And it's by purpose, because if you're doing this, you could take the trails if you want. And that's going to take very long if you're going on road, because, roads don't go in straight lines, right? They have to adhere to property and land formation. If you want to take the beeline, though, you go off road and you start going straight. And as you do that, you quickly start running across things, whether it be, oh, hey, there's an elk and I need elk for crafting. Yeah. Or,
or a stranger getting attacked by a bear cat.
Or, did
you just say bear cat?
A bear cat.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Well, what's that big cat lion thing?
Oh, you mean
it's like a bear, but it's a cat.
Well, there's cougars.
It was not a cougar. It was a
Panther?
bear cat. If you haven't got to kill a bear cat, I'm sorry.
Oh,
you really haven't played this,
yeah, dude.
You are lying. You haven't touched this game.
Dude, you'll walk by somebody who's already killed somebody and already robbed them.
Yeah.
And you walk by and you're like, hey, man. And they're like, hey.
Howdy.
But then your option comes up. Do you want to de-escalate it? Do you want to antagonize?
Yeah.
And every time you try to de-escalate it, they still try to shoot you.
So it's choice without a choice.
In most cases that I've come across. I don't know if you have.
I mean, there are certain things that no matter what you do, you're not going to de-escalate them because of the seriousness. But the others, it's really how you choose to approach people. Some people, I mean, just like when you come up to innocents, you could come up and they'd be like, I need help. And you'd be like, you can help by give me what's in your wallet right now. You could do that, or I'll shoot you in the face if you want to be that guy. Mm-hmm. And totally has its consequences and rewards and everything like that. But the point being, like, yes, you're going from point A to point B, and along that way, you'll find so many little things that will just pull you off the beaten path. I found this like mansion, or I wouldn't say a mansion, it was like an old house. And all of a sudden I go into this mission that is in no way on the map. You know, anything wasn't leading me. I just kind of stumbled into it, and it was almost borderline Deliverance, and it was very interesting. And I was like, I got bad vibes as soon as I started. I was like, this is not going to go well. And sure enough, it did not.
Do you remember
things like that? Like, you just, it's a lot different than, say, like being in Assassin's Creed the last couple of weeks here, where literally when I'm on my horse, I'm just, drop my bottle. I'm on my horse, and I'm
loud.
And if I'm going, I'm just trying to get to whatever the next point is as quickly as possible. And it doesn't matter what happens to my horse, because even if it dies, I can just respawn it in 2 seconds or like 30 seconds, whatever it is. And there's probably a question mark that's telling me to go here or whatever. There's markers on the map for certain missions you can do, but for the most part, a lot of the map is just go out there and discover it as you go through. And that's really rewarding, like, as you start to play, because the world is so interesting and has so many distinct things going on that you don't feel like you're just consistently doing the same thing with a reskin. Like, it's the kind of events you might find in, say, Lemonade, which is kind of like Louisiana, versus the ones you see when you're in, I can't remember the name where Valentine is. Like
New Haven?
Yes. When you're in New Haven, they're very different, and they kind of match the area that you're in.
Did you hold on to your thought?
No.
Let it go.
I don't remember. It was something just to add on to what he was saying that we could have kept going, but no, it's fine. You did mention something about, the cinematic, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about, I'm not a Western guy, right? Mm-hmm. I don't appreciate a Western movie. The game didn't turn me on in the sense that, oh my God, I get to play a Western. But playing this game is amazing, right?
Yes.
So they have so many little things. Chris mentioned the music, the way the music ties in as Chris says, as you're just kind of riding on your horse to the next scene or through the woods, and it's mind blowing how fantastic that vibe that the game creates is. And then, like Chris said the other day, he was going to go, he was going where he was going, and he put it in cinematic mode, which is a great feature. Yeah. I'll let you elaborate on it. You don't like it?
No,
you're
talking about
the horse.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you get to kind of hold a button, and then it backs off. The camera angle backs off, and it's like you're watching a movie.
Yeah, it goes
guy
into
on a
that
horse.
16:9.
Beautiful.
Nice.
So Chris has a story about that.
Yeah.
Which will lead into the other thing that we're going to talk about.
So when you put it in cinematic mode, you can like set a point on the map, and it kind of just auto canners, like he just follows the roads and does the thing. But like the thing is, world can still happen, right? So I was pretty close to what is the, basically the equivalent of New Orleans, in the game, which is called Saint Denis. And I had to go there for something, and I was like, okay, hey, I'm going to put this into the cinematic mode. I'm going to set my point, and we're pretty close to the city. I shouldn't have to worry about, animals or randomly getting robbed or something like that. That's probably not going to be anything bad. And even then I said, worst case scenario, I'll just die. I have a pretty good amount of money right now, so it's not going to be the end of the world for me. So I go in the kitchen to make myself some lunch. It was a burrito. It was very delicious.
What kind of burrito?
Southwestern from Amy's.
Are they good?
Frozen. Yeah. They're like,
what kind of meat's in it?
No meat. It's like, potato, beans, and, cheese. Yeah. It's good.
I'm in.
It's like Tex-Mex.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
It's the meal you eat when you're playing Red Dead, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, so all of a sudden I hear this train, and I think nothing of it. And then all of a sudden I hear choo choo, and then I hear, Arr! And I come back in here. Arthur is on the ground. The horse is keeled over. And, apparently the train hit my horse head on, and you can revive your horse if it's near death. we were beyond that point. So I
The
took out
horse
my,
was gone.
I just took out my shotgun and I said, sorry, boy. And,
Sorry, boy.
and the worst part was I had just spent like $1,000 on
That's
this
a
horse
lot of money.
because it hurts when you lose a horse in this game. More so, part because you do all this bonding with them, and as you bond with them,
Yeah.
they get better stats. They have tricks they can do, like dressage,
Rear
sidestepping.
stuff.
Yeah, they can rear, they can kind of do a quick turn, all that kind of stuff. So
It becomes
hurts.
your horse. You know
Yeah, it
what I mean?
hurts. And I like that because, horses, as far as like bonds, for me personally, I think this is like most people that have actually experienced with a horse. Like behind dogs, to me, like horses are like my second, like as far as a close relationship I've had with an animal, it's a horse. Like when you own a horse, when you're with them and you're
I'm getting uncomfortable.
when you're grooming them or whatever, taking care of them, it's a very close relationship, and they know
Are they
you
like
and
dogs in the sense that they recognize you, they get happy to see you, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Did you have a horse growing up?
I had many horses.
Did they like peanut butter?
Did they? They like sugar cubes.
Did you ever own a horse named Applejack in real life?
I didn't own it. I used to ride a Appaloosa horse named Applejack. I got an Appaloosa today, and I said I was gonna name him that. But I've had many horses. I mean, like it's hard when they die and things like that. And the only other animal experience I've had like that is a dog. So I equate it to that. So it's kind of like
They have a similar demeanor.
Yeah,
a
like-
similar type of loyalty.
And you see that connection here. Like they force the player. Well, I don't want to say force, but they encourage the player to take care of their horse.
Yeah.
Right. You get benefits.
Calm it down, feed it,
Yeah.
let it rest.
Like even like as you're riding through the world, obviously the horse gets dirty because there's dust and anything or things like that. And either there needs to be a rainstorm that happens, or else you eventually have to brush the horse, or else it loses stamina. And that's a very common thing. Like horses do not like being dirty unless it's very hot. And usually once the mud dries on them, they want to find water and get it off. They don't like the way it feels.
You should do a horse podcast.
My sister could.
Sean, I have a question for you.
Well, I was going to talk about horses.
Yeah, please.
So his horse died by a train, right?
You were just dumb.
So remember last week we had watched a YouTube video, and I think we were watching the guy stream from like Germany or wherever he was.
Jump off a cliff.
He shot somebody in the town, then just ran and jumped, and his horse just died. He got up, and I thought to myself, I'm never gonna do that to my horse.
Well,
So like Chris said, you could be doing your normal whatever you're doing, and then you hear somebody saying help. Side little thing. You can go help a guy if you want to, I guess. So I go thinking I'm going to help this guy, and I'm getting closer and closer to where I think he's coming from, but I'm running at this point. I did not know the world's biggest drop off from a mountain was going to happen. And so my horse died. That's when I learned, like Chris said.
Did you die?
No, I got pretty messed up though. I had to eat some classic oats or some.
yeah, it's not a
canned
I
peaches.
gotta eat some oats.
you buying
I've been shot. I
you
need some
dying
oats.
in this game isn't
It sucks, but it's not the worst. It's weird.
the only time it sucks in this game. Dying is if you have pelts.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, because
Yeah.
whether your horse dies or you die, whatever you have that you've not already skinned and have like in your satchel, if it's like on the horse, it disappears.
or if you're holding it.
And I've had many times where I've been, so crafting in this game, as far as upgrades for certain equipment, that require skins, they have to be perfect skins, which so the animals are rated on a 3-star system from poor, then good, and perfect, right?
Based on how you kill it?
No,
it's
they're
just how
based on
whatever-
the quality of the skin of the animal in the world. Also based on how, yes, you do have to kill them in the right way or else they will deteriorate.
I set it on fire. Well, that fur is probably not good.
Yeah, exactly.
But, does that tie into how much money you talked about how much money you've made? I don't have that much money.
Yeah, there's certain things you can do, but there's a reason I have, and I can't tell you that.
There's an IGN article that shows you how to make $500 quick.
Yeah, there
Well,
are some
I've got
easy
a couple
ways.
$100, but
You don't really need that much walking around money. You're gonna find
Walking
that out.
around money.
Like I
honey,
invest.
you're going to the mall. We're going to get some walk around money.
I mainly invest most of my money back into the camp. If I'm being honest, like
You're being a good guy.
yeah. Well, that ties
well,
back
you
into
get
the
benefits.
camaraderie that he talked about that Dutch is promoting
You
in
get-
the camp.
you get
There's a
benefits?
literal donation box.
Like hookers?
you get no. You get things like a state.
Blink,
you could get
blink.
for instance, you can get the upgrades to your satchels that you can then craft.
Yeah. Oh.
You can get, you'll
carry
get it
more
so
hookers?
that you'll get it so that more people are donating more money to the camp, which then of course helps you upgrade. You can get better quality food for everyone. You can get medicine, you can get ammo at camp, and then the big one, you eventually can get fast travel and the ability to have the ability to call your horses. So like if you have your horses stabled somewhere, you can summon a horse that you want.
Unless you do that, you can only call your horse that
you're riding,
dismounted from.
Yeah.
And if you run over to hunt a rabbit, say with a bow and arrow or something, your horse is over here. When you're done, you whistle for your horse. He'll come kind of like Epona did for Zelda.
Unless, yeah, but it's in the way Zelda is, if you're too far away, he ain't coming.
Right.
Oh yeah, in Odyssey, you can get off your horse, go to another island, and then call your horse, and there it is.
And he's a unicorn.
You had a question though?
Yeah. I think it had something to do. I've heard two criticisms about the game, and when I say criticisms, it's not like, oh, this sucks. It's simply this could have been managed better, designed better.
Okay.
Yeah.
But overall, it's not like they're saying this was trash.
No, when you have like this big of a game.
One was the fast travel. And you know how I am about fast travel. And Shaun, you can speak to that. And then secondly, I've heard that the combat is a little bit antiquated. It's a little bit finicky. Well, in fairness, I can imagine it being hard to master combat systems with 6 shooters. But
it's surprisingly
really good.
It's surprisingly good.
It.
If you've ever been in a Rockstar universe, like a Grand Theft Auto situation, right? The gunplay is almost exactly like that. So you can cater it to how you aim. You can choose to keep your 6-shooter out, which is you get 6 shots with it before you got to reload, or you can pull your rifle
That's
out.
why it's called a 6-shooter.
Yeah, with your rifle, and you get a shot, and a reload shot, reload. I don't find the fighting, even fist fighting, to be tough. I've knifed a dude.
Yeah, I would say of those, the harder one,
dude.
The only one that's really been hard to some degree has been fist fights, and that's only if you get a guy who consistently counters you.
And that's tough.
You have to wait.
But
even then, I've never lost a fist fight. If I die in a gunfight, it's usually because I'm on my horse and it's people robbing me, and like there are 10 of them, and I just
nothing you can do.
Yeah, I don't have enough. Like, there's nothing for me to get out of the way of, and I'm more concerned at that point of my horse not dying.
But during combat, there is a cover system type thing you can use, which is
that's
which is
not
good.
great.
It's not great, but you can use it. It's good. As far as fast travel, where I'm at in the game, I don't have fast travel unlocked.
Be a while.
But my horse, I'm glad I have a horse.
You better.
Because, so when you have to go to these new places, though, the game, as you travel, it kind of goes into a natural cinematic, and then you're kind of there. I haven't had to go back yet,
But we gotta go back.
I'm sure I got to go back at some point, but I haven't had to.
Yeah.
I also wanted to talk about how Chris, because this just made me think of it.
Well,
the mountains, right? When you start from the snow, you talked about going to that one area and how the game transformed in front of your eyes, basically.
Yeah.
Dude, coming from the mountains, which is a snowy mess.
People don't realize,
right? It's just the worst.
And it's not a knock on other games. I understand, like, open world games. It's really hard to put this in there naturally. But this game, I don't think I've ever played another game that does it as well as this. Like, as you move from one biome to another, it happens so naturally and realistically that it just feels weird. It's kind of like if me and you left here, right? And we were going to New Orleans from here. You don't get the bayou and the swamps like as soon as you cross in,
it's just
like one point, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you just like get to this point and like, well, it's the bayou now. It's like it slowly starts happening, right? Like all of a sudden more swamps are coming in. It's getting a little bit more denser, a little bit more murkier.
Peat moss hanging off trees and stuff.
Exactly. The types of trees are changing. The foliage is changing before you. And that's what this game does very well. Like when you come off that mountain, you go from this place of like feeling you're like in, say, like the equivalent of the Black Hills of North Dakota, moving down into Kansas, and like slowly you start to see a little bit less snow in areas, a little bit more water, a little less pine trees, and all of a sudden different types of trees coming in to eventually you come across a river, and all of a sudden now you're in these open, flat plains, right? For you to ride across.
Beautiful.
And then as you move further down south, you start to notice that like those, instead of it just being
The gazelle.
instead of it just kind of being, tall grass and a few trees, right?
Yeah.
It starts to become more of what we're accustomed here, where it's like, the big patches of grass and more muddy areas, more, different types of trees that we see, like magnolia trees and all that down here. And it slowly transforms into the bayou. And even when you finally go to St. Denis later in the game, that transition, and they did this very well also in GTA 5, from going from the country to going to a major city, right? Of all of a sudden, kind of like when you're in GTA 5 and you be on like what's the equivalent of the 405, and all of a sudden that traffic just starts getting more congested, right?
They do it well.
Yeah, they're excellent at that. And again, coming off something like Assassin's Creed felt like you would go from one island. You're like, okay, well, this is what this area of the game is, and this is what that area of the game is. And it's nothing against it. It's just,
It works in its own.
Yeah.
It works for Assassin's Creed. It would feel really weird if Rockstar didn't do it the way they do for this game.
yeah, it just feels weird or right, I would say, versus other games. And that's not a shot at them. I just think they have different things they're focused on.
Even in World of Warcraft, like each world is sometimes it blends very well, but then most of the time it's like, now everything's blue.
Yes, yeah,
like,
that's the worst.
What just happened? Like I was in lush
Why is this blue
deliciousness over here, and now where everything's just blue and glowy. Like how did this happen?
So now you hate. Wow.
No, I hate Josh Dalton because
But
he don't
getting
play
back
well
to
anymore.
John, what you were asking, the combat to me, I think is, it's designed again, like kind of like a horror game in a way where you're not supposed to feel like this.
OP.
You're not like, this isn't Horizon Zero Dawn, right? You're not just some warrior of like immense power and ability. You're a cowboy. You have weight to you. You're a real person. That's what it's mimicking to do. The good thing is that the auto aim trigger, whenever you do a lock on, is pretty good. And Deadeye is the way I usually am rolling, because I use Deadeye as much as possible because I love them headshots. And in that, I think like the controls kind of loosen up a little bit, and it feels a little bit closer to an FPS, or
I agree.
or a third
Shaun,
person.
that's a first person shooter.
Yeah, I got you.
And in those instances, like if I miss a headshot, it's usually, I feel like, on me and not on the game, because I'm just going to go with the controls.
Shoot from the hip thing.
Bang,
Bang, bang.
As far as the fast travel situation, I don't know if you're going to like it if you play this game ever.
Well, you understand that the fast travel thing over this past year has become more of a joke than anything else.
Has it?
Has it? We've seen your rants.
We know you.
My rants.
You
We're going to call
continue-
them rants.
you
I can't
continue-
hear out of this.
You have
year.
a blog.
You
You have a
continue.
blog.
I have a blog.
You have a blog say, I hate games with no fast travel.
Yeah, and you continue to talk about it after the show. So
Yeah. Shaun and I literally
Maybe I
ate,
do.
Shaun and
I
I
don't know.
literally ate 12 tacos one week while you sat there and gave a sermon about faulty fast travel games.
I'm so mad right now all over.
Mainly
again 'cause
God
you.
of War.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome. But anyways, like as far as the way this is designed, there's fast travel to an extent, but it's not anything that is ever going to become overwhelmed. Like you're never going to be able to just feel like, say like Assassin's Creed, where you can just, once you've unlocked those points, right? You're just like, okay, I need to go here, here, here. It's never going to be at your fingertips like that.
Because it's just,
There's a couple of options early on. You can, if you've been to different areas, different towns, right, and you need to get there quickly and you have the money, which really, it's never really too much. It shouldn't be that hard for you to do. You can go and take stagecoaches or trains to those areas, to those cities, and then kind of operate. And the good thing is, yes, your horse does come along with you when you do those. As I said before, eventually, after you've upgraded your camp to an extent, you get to the ability where Arthur can fast travel from his camp to cities he's been to. But the kicker is you can't fast travel back to your camp. you have to ride back, or you have to take,
that
stables and all that, or I'm sorry, stagecoaches to other closer towns.
That's the first time I'm hearing of that.
What's the design choice behind that?
Why
make it such a slog? And I don't mean slog as in some sort of negative thing. Don't read too much into it.
Like
but
Peter
why
Parker,
make it that difficult for players who simply, no, I just want to get to the place.
Because I don't think they want you to do that in this game.
The game, we have our friend in the show, Ryan
But don't we
Leaf.
typically have a history of being critical of developers who put a wall behind how we want to play a game?
Sure.
I thought Rockstar was one of these developers that said, here are games and you play them how the heck you want to play them.
You're right. But dude, playing this game,
mm-hmm.
it transforms you into he's walking slow, but he's got on boots and I don't know. It's just, you, like Chris said, the character feels like a person. There's some weight to him. It just fits. It does. It works.
When you think of the Old West and you think of especially like the spaghetti Western, nothing in those is fast. Right?
Yeah. And this slows.
I don't know. What do you mean by that?
Like you don't, everything in those games is a slow build. And even then, there are tons of, even like before you have the shootout, right? You always show shots of like Clint Eastwood on his horse going to different areas as he's going to do the gunfight, right? These wonderful cinematic shots that they would shoot. And I think that's kind of like the idea is like, look, you're in the Old West and this is not GTA. You can't just go steal the fastest car and be on the north point of the map and get to the south point in 5 minutes. It's
jumping 5 ramps and going through hula hoops.
This is the Old West and, it takes time. And I think it's, in part, like I said, I think it's by design because they want you to explore the world around you. And I think they're trying to say, and I think it's the way they set this game up. It's like, don't rush. Like one of the biggest problems that open worlds have is this paradox that is always created, right? Which is I am this main savior character of some sort. And I need to go and save the world. But before that, I'm going to spend 40 hours over here collecting bunnies and everything else that I need, right? That's usually the problem, whether it's Mass Effect or it's The Witcher or Assassin's Creed, right? I'm trying to save my family in Assassin's Creed. But before we do that, I'm going to go and check out all these tombs across all of Greece and do ship battles that have nothing to do with the main story itself. This game isn't designed to do that because really Arthur Morgan isn't some superhero. He isn't like some savior to this camp.
He's just part of the camp.
Yeah. And everything you're doing really as far as missions and activities in the end, it comes back to really doing what's in the best interest of the camp. So if I'm not doing whatever the next mission is, like I see there's a highlight that Dutch has me something to do. If I'm not going over to talk to him to start that, it's okay because if I'm going out there and I'm robbing stagecoaches and I'm bringing that money back for the camp, I'm helping the camp. If I'm out there hunting and providing them food, I'm helping the camp. If I'm, going out there and finding a homestead and taking the gold bars and all those kinds of things and that money all gets, the gang gets its cut from it. Everything I'm doing is kind of focused back to actually helping the group. So it's okay because I didn't do this one thing right away because when I get to it, it's just a new thing and a new activity I have to go do with my gang now. It's not something like, okay, the world is about to end and I've been ignoring it for 4 hours, to do wherever the heck I want. And I like that. And I think that's why the travel in a way is kind of designed in that way. It's designed to be like, go out there and explore and find things to do that helps your crew because that's what matters.
And even though it's an individual game too, right? And you may be used to that, like I'm the savior guy. They draw these lines where it's not just you against the world. And it's because of the interaction with everybody that you really do feel like a part of this bigger thing. And it's so vague and so just blah, but it just works.
Yes. I think in part it really works well because on every mission that you actually do go on this game, pretty much outside of like little tiny things you find in the world, you're always, there's always someone from the gang with you. And the best part, you don't have a choice of who it is. So even though you may hate Micah, the character. You're going to go on a mission with Micah. And you slowly start to get his perspective of things and what he's thinking at the moment. And you also get Arthur's perspective back.
And dude, perspective's a big word.
Yeah.
Starting off, there's a thing that happens at a place called Black Rock.
Blackwater.
Yeah, that.
See, perspective.
Why did I say Black Rock? Blackwater.
It's just your perspective.
There's a thing, and throughout the game, you're learning. People kind of do the things that people do. Hey, man, what do you think happened there? There's a perspective angle when it comes to John and Arthur.
Yeah.
On,
like you'll be riding with John on the mission, like on that long ride that you just can't fast travel to the
You're going to have
location,
dialogue.
right?
It's beautiful.
You're on this long ride and John might look at you and say like, man, what's your problem with me? And then you literally listen to Arthur tell you what his problem is.
You already have an idea of what Arthur's mad about John about, but then there's more to it. And it's really good on how they do that.
You might get Arthur asking someone else like, well, what do you think about all the events going on right now? As far as this, and they all have different perspectives. Some are definitely more committed to the ideals of Dutch. Some are just thankful for the fact that the gang has looked out for him. Like there's one girl in the camp who's like, literally men don't understand what it is to be a female when like you have no money and you're alone in this world and how scary that can be in that time period. Right. She says that and she's like, this camp gave this to me. Like this has been my family that took me in, took care of me when it could have been really bad for me. So like getting those kinds of perspectives, I think it's really interesting. And that's what I enjoy. Like, cause I can just put it into cinematic mode and I just sit back and it's like watching a really movie as you get this super wonderful build up.
Like I can't wait to see the way these stories play out. I mean, we already, like in Star Wars, you already knew Darth Vader. Right?
Hey, this is not on topic, but I just want to say that Clinton Dix is now a Redskin.
Really?
Yeah. Packers traded him to us.
Wow, that's big news. Ha Clinton Dix.
Ha Apparently, everyone in the NFC East is going to trade for an Alabama player.
Watching like that third prequel and watching him turn into Darth Vader, right? So it was very cool, and that's where this game kind of has me in a mindset of I already know what happened to John and Dutch, but now I'm on the other side and I get to see this thing kind of morph into what it did.
Yeah. So that perspective.
It's
from playing the first game
or knowing about the first game
is valuable.
It can be.
It's helpful, but it's definitely not.
I say that because John, if you had watched the third sequel or the third prequel before you watched A New Hope, you would have got the same experience.
Yeah. I think
not a chance, and that's not true.
I'll say this:
you of all people know that's not true.
I'll say this: you don't need to have played Red Dead 1 to enjoy this game. Or
need. I can agree. Maybe, I can agree with the
but
need.
Need you don't.
But you can find value. Doesn't mean you need to, but you can find value in experiencing the first game.
Sure.
And that's kind of what I want to do. That's how I want to experience this Red Dead series.
But let's be honest though. What's the prospects that you ever get to play that whole game?
Yeah. And then,
cause that's a 30-hour game right there at least. I mean, like when do you plan to play that game and when can you find time to play that game? Cause that's the part with me. Like there's a ton of things that I've missed that I'd love to go back and play, but I find myself now in this world going like, as much as I'd like to, there's just so many things in the moment that I have to play now. I
hear what you're saying, but I think I can find some time to play a game that many consider last generation's finest game.
Okay. So
compared to when you put it next to Skyrim and Mass Effect 2, and you've got kind of the trinity of what is considered. I like how you
didn't say The Last of Us. I like that you didn't say that. Thank you. Makes me happy.
Came out around the same time.
And GTA 5. You didn't put that in there.
No, it's kind of like a last gen, new gen, now gen thing.
I mean, I would play GTA 5, but I don't want to play as a Git. So that's why I don't play that game.
A what?
Git.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
But, okay, well, let's put a challenge to John then. John, by the end of next year, can you commit to playing the first Red Dead game? I have a feeling.
No, I was telling Shaun last week. I'm like, had I had it to do over again, I'd manage my game time better.
Not even that
in 2018 and get this one out of the way because we came over here to record a podcast and you had fired up Red Dead and apparently it looks really good, Xbox One enhanced.
Yes.
So,
if you haven't bought it yet and you do have an Xbox One X, this is the game that if there's anything that is going to sell an Xbox One X, I think it's this game. This is easily the biggest benefit I've seen from it. And pretty much Digital Foundry, when they were looking at it, they're like, yeah, that's the way to play it. So
from a PlayStation perspective, I walked in and I saw Chris's Xbox version running. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's going to be obviously the Xbox is a better system on the inside than the PlayStation Pro. But the experience for me has been just fine. If you happen to have it on PlayStation or need to get it on PlayStation Pro, it's going to look beautiful.
Poor Penny.
But it looks, dare I say, jam up on the Xbox One X.
It's bona fide.
Yeah, it's dope. I mean, look, we got character customization. You got shootouts, you got robberies, you got heists, I'm going to put family in quotations with your gang. You got a rival gang. You've got some backstory. You got beautiful scenery, beautiful music.
Yeah. To sum it all up, I think it's just a really good Western story, and it kind of like hits. There's this idea that is a consistent battle, in time where it's like there's always a set of people who just want things to stay the way they are because they enjoy that way, right? And as we've learned throughout history, that's not the way it works. It's consistently moving forward, and it's always an interesting thing to look and see, well, do people adapt? Or do they stay in their convictions? And what happens like when you have something like this, where these people have a way of life and they have their convictions and it's going away and there's nothing they can do. Like how far will they go? We obviously know with Dutch how far he'll go as far as with Red Dead 1, but everyone else in this gang, like I'm meeting all these people and I'm getting really close to them. I'm like, how many of these people are about to go die for Dutch's ideals? Like, I know John doesn't die, but there's
got a wicked scar.
Yeah, there's plenty of characters in this game. Like, it's tearing on me because I'm like, I don't think they're all going to make it. I have no idea if it happens or not, but like that idea of like who's willing to die, who's willing to maybe make a deal, who's willing to just run away and try to hide.
Who actually sets in motion
the
thing that happens to where John goes this way.
Exactly.
And Dutch and them go that way.
Yeah. Like I'm interested to see that because it's an interesting part of history and life. And
what sets what's in motion? You see, I got to play the first one.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well,
John.
John's in the first one and he's hired by the government to go get Dutch and them.
Yes. And he also dies at the end of it.
What?
I didn't say that. But his son came back and avenged him.
So now that you guys have really thought about this,
do
you want to re-edit your score?
20 out of 10.
14 out of 10. Yeah.
Everyone go play this.
So do you guys see, I mean, look, Lord knows you've been looking forward to this game. You've been hype on the game.
But hating it because Chris was hype on it.
No. We got our list. We got our game of.
We have a bandwagon.
We have our game of the year episode coming up in a few months.
What?
Do you see any chance that this is not sitting at the top of your list?
Well, see, at that point,
Smash has to be amazing.
We'll have some perspective to look back on.
Ooh, word of the week.
Perspective. There'll be different games. I'll feel differently because I'm not in the moment.
That's true.
And you'll kind of appreciate what you've played, what each game brought to the table.
Is my list going to be legitimate?
Without
because I wasn't able to get to this game.
Well, your list is already not legitimate because
Doom was your game
Fallout,
of the year one
you're
time.
You're not playing this, and you like Far Cry 5. These are three things. But as far as to answer your question, your first one,
notes.
Your first one, I
don't want to.
I don't want to say that it can't. That is definitive above it because the thing is, I haven't finished Red Dead's story yet. And on the other hand, I've seen, I mean, if you told me to say that God of War story is
God
completely
of War.
If you're telling me like after say like 10 hours of that game, right? You could come back and say, oh, I get the full weight and brevity of everything that happened in God of War, right? From a story narrative standpoint, I'd be like, no, you're a freaking liar.
Yeah.
You have
It's
no
literally
idea.
to the end.
Yeah. And
You know what I mean?
so like, and that was the thing with Red Dead. Like Red Dead, as Shaun dropped off, and I mean, like, yeah, there's a part in Red Dead, like where Mexico, it is rough. It is really hard to go through that patch. But what made it, what made it worth it in the end was that then you actually came back and you had this deal, this whole entire scenario go down with Dutch, and then you had the epilogue on top of that. And once all those things settled and you got what they were going for, you were like, oh, from a Western standpoint, that's freaking brilliant. I've never played anything like that. And all of a sudden, maybe your score that might have been like a 8.8 Richard is all of a sudden a 10 Richard or a 9.5 Richard, right?
Okay. I could ask this question offline, or I could Google it, or I could pull out my book.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
The only thing that really, it's not an irk, but it's like I wish there was a shortcut for it, was to pull up the big map.
You can do that easy.
I push start and then map.
No. Just hold down start. That's all you gotta do.
And the big map pulls up?
Yep.
I'm
right
in.
away.
I'm back in.
And if you're in the menus or in like a sub thing in your satchel or like anywhere, all you gotta do is hold down, I guess on Xbox it's B, so O, right? That would be O on PlayStation.
Yeah.
That'll take you right back.
There's an article on IGN called 56 Things That Red Dead Doesn't Tell You.
Yep. Yeah. Explore.
Hey, is that
discover.
a good read for the listeners?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm sure there's something.
on IGN?
Yeah, I didn't read it.
56 things.
I think it's 56, right?
Most important of those, if you kill someone in the bayou and you're near the actual like swamps, you can throw their body in there and then the alligators will come up and eat it
speaking
for you.
of killing people, I don't know why I did it, but a guy he looked at me wrong on his horse.
Yeah, it's called the West.
So I went, but he wasn't a bad guy. He
It's
was
the
just,
Wild West.
when he went by, I thought he talked junk, but I think he was like, hey, I'm doing, and I was like, I shot him. Well, then he's dead.
Yeah.
And I go,
it tends to happen.
I felt bad because I was like, I don't like playing these kind of games like this. I want to play them right,
Yeah, you want to be a good
I
guy.
do too, but
So I loot them, but then all of a sudden this big word comes up that says witness approaching.
yeah.
So guess who had to die next? So now,
Well, you can threaten them.
I just
Guess
shot
who
him.
had to
Well,
die
then
next?
I go, they can't just lay in the road because the game goes, you don't want to just leave bodies in the road. So now I got a guy on my shoulder and I'm finding a bush on a hill. Do you know how hard it is to hide a body on a bush on a hill? They slide from the bush.
You're like, guess who has to die next?
Yeah. The way I've usually approached it is
Guess who has to die
like
next?
if I come up and someone's like, or like, you better back away. And I'm like, if I try to defuse it and then afterwards they're like, all right, cool. And like
They
they
never
walk
do
away.
that with me.
Sometimes they do, but like if they come like after I defuse it, they go like,
Ham?
you better walk away. And I go, now you done messed up. And
That's almost like they put their finger right in my forehead.
Yeah.
Back away and then my head kind
they
of.
about to get flowed. And by flowed,
They
I'm
gotta
getting
go.
shot in the face.
This man's got to die.
They gotta go.
Anyways, it's
Hey,
man,
Hey,
hour and 22 minutes.
can we confirm that the horse anatomy?
Oh, totally. Because I didn't see any balls in the first couple hours, but the moment I hit the plane, I was like, there they
Oh,
are.
because in the mountains there you don't really see much because the horses are they just got out of the swimming pool just like us.
Yeah. They go up inside to keep warm.
Yeah. And as soon as the old warm weather comes out,
Blood out.
there's a Johnson.
Yeah. You guys want to do some news?
Sure. Hey, guys, go buy Red Dead. It's a
Now.
must play.
Yeah. Keep buying it till the end of the year at
No,
least.
because then Chris will win something about sales.
Have I?
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
News! That was lame.
It's okay. It's
No,
okay.
For some reason we thought, hey, we're going to be too loud, so let's not do news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this how we're going to do it now? Is this how it's going to go?
All right. Do you need it?
I can read it. Let's just make sure.
Yeah,
Let's go right into this thing, huh? Speaking of Red Dead, Red Dead Redemption 2, biggest opening weekend in history. Red Dead 2 Redemption continues to prove John wrong with the announcement that the game enjoyed the biggest opening weekend for any entertainment product in history. The game managed to sell $725
$125, huh?
725 million in copies in 3 days. Rockstar did not share actual units sold, but the data suggests 10 million.
Yeah, I think they said greater than 10 million. Yeah. No one knows exactly.
No one knows, man.
If you did $60, I guess it would be 12 million, but obviously there are $90 editions of the game. So you can't know.
Like it's not a surprise the game sold well.
Yeah.
But we do have a friendly wager going on.
See, folks, did you know that the original Red Dead sold 17 million copies?
13 million.
Believe after everything now it's up to like they last said it was like 15 or 17 million. I thought.
Well, now you've dipped the 15.
You just dipped it down 2 million.
But 13 regardless is wrong.
Hey, let's fact check you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it right now.
If you want to.
Okay.
Do it because you did it earlier in the show when John said Kershaw was 30 and you said he's 33. You think you slid that in on the sly?
Okay.
Yeah. You got to fact check yourself too, man. Red Dead 1 sales Rockstar.
I know I've seen it before. See, now it's going to be like really hard to find.
Well, because
hold on.
Red Dead Redemption sale right there. How many copies did Red Dead Redemption sell? Right there. I hate you so much. It's right up. Just go up to the thing.
I know I've seen it on here.
Shipped 15 million.
Shipped 15.
So it was
shipped 15.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean sold 15.
Hey, that's fine. That's still more than 13.
Click on that Forbes article.
Oh? Which one?
Not the one that said Wikipedia. The one that said Forms.
That's the one from earlier.
Mm-hmm. Scroll down.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This is when John's doing this thing where he's going to be like.
Let's see.
Yeah, it says it on there.
Double the original's 15 million in sales.
30 million would put it, yeah. So,
but it's y'all are both. You know what? You originally said 17. He said 13. Let's meet in the middle somewhere and just be happy together, huh?
But anyways, I'm not surprised. Like I said, it's Rockstar. I think they've said like outside of Call of Duty, this is the biggest, non-Call of Duty game this generation, like aka non-seasonal or reoccurring game this generation, which before I believe it was Fallout 4, which isn't too surprising.
The only other game that's ever the last game to beat Call of Duty during the holiday season is GTA 5.
Yeah.
Look, it looks like this is probably going to be a losing bet. The only saving grace I have is the idea that the early adopters bought the game, or the people who were excited about the game, who bought the game, went ahead and bought the game. A lot of Call of Duties sell during Black Friday.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance. So yeah, it looks like.
I'm interested to see what happens when if Red Dead Online comes out, which comes out next month, right? If it is well received right off the jump, how many people that maybe have not been playing this game that played GTA Online, right, will go, well, I need to go check that out.
Sure.
And then that's when they buy the game because that's their $60 copy.
And
by the way, that game, like, as you're playing, so we didn't talk about the map, right? It's pretty clear that there's a huge chunk of the map that you do not go to in the main campaign. And that includes from parts from the first game. I mean, I guess it could happen, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I'm guessing the only reason it's in the single player game is probably for Red Dead Online.
Sure.
Which is just incredible to think, like, after you probably beat this thing, you'll have a whole entire area to go explore.
Yeah, you were just talking about the slow burn of the Western. And I'm like, how do you translate that into what online people demand to be a fast-paced experience? I'm just curious to see how they do it. It's Rockstar. I'm sure they've got something up their sleeve.
There'll be train heists.
Well, yeah, imagine
but the Call of Duty bet.
Imagine you and your friends go out there and you get like 10 people together and you form yourself a gang, kind of like you do in GTA Online. You know this.
Yeah, but you don't have smartphones to check your bank accounts to buy your
have a
apartment, and you can't buy your you're not gonna be able to buy horses as fast as you could cars.
Yeah, but you could buy a camp.
They know how to do it. You'll
like this. Apparently, in the Rockstar app, there's some coding in there that indicates that there's some VR coming our way.
And PC.
But
on PC
the
only?
Call of Duty thing,
I doubt it.
the Call of Duty thing, look, I mean, if I lose, I lose. It was an educated guess. Several analysts made the prediction Call of Duty will still outsell. In fact, one of the analysts who predicted that Call of Duty would outsell has now changed his mind.
Yeah.
It's like, well, looks like I was wrong about that.
Yeah, I think most are now thinking that it will likely sell 20 million, if not more, by the end of the year. Is what everyone was.
That's a lot of units.
That is.
And I mean,
Hey, 10
props to
million is a lot of units.
So when we get Red Dead Redemption 3 in 15 years, I'll be ready to make that bet again, Shaun.
Yeah.
Next up, guys.
Monster Hunter World, speaking of sales, Monster Hunter World ships 10 million. Capcom's net sales are up 28.5% from the first fiscal half of 2018. The increase can be attributed to the success of Monster Hunter World, which released on January 26th. The publisher's sales increase 43.3 million yen for the 6 months ending on September 30th.
September.
And 10.5 million yen for their operating income. This represents the highest it has ever been at the end of a second quarter. Monster Hunter World has reached 10 million, the first time in Capcom's history for any title.
Take that, Resident Evil.
And that's, I mean, Resident Evil, I think.
Take that, Street Fighter.
Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 6, which was considered a really bad game,
Yes.
still sold 8 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's impressive.
People like to hunt them monsters.
Do we know how many Biohazard sold?
Biohazard?
It underperformed compared to the one that everybody hates.
But this game,
But that's the way it
not-
always works, right?
Unfortunately,
it's still such a good game.
Critical success doesn't often translate. You know, I don't know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's like right now, Assassin's Creed Odyssey did really well. Why? Because Origins was really well received and got good buzz.
But considering the title, the Monster Hunter series has been such a niche title for years. I mean, it took this game to bring people into the fold. I mean, this is an amazing number.
The game is so
for
big.
for a series.
No pun intended.
For a series that's been popular in Japan.
Japan.
And had a loyal fan base, but a small one in the States.
Yeah.
That's
That's
true.
impressive.
Good for them.
It's impressive.
Speaking of sales numbers.
Well, no one said that, Chris. That's a terrible transition, but we'll go with it because you did it.
You're welcome.
I'm going to do like the backwards thing because I like, saving the best for last and stuff. But Chris was alluding to sales, and that's right. We have the numbers for MPD for September. At number 10 was NHL 19. Anybody play that? All right.
What does NHL
Mike
stand
did.
for?
National Hockey League.
Yeah. Hooky.
Okay.
Okay.
Number
Apparently you're
9.
Scottish.
A newer title, Super Mario Party, that you can
Yay.
only find on your Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo.
Number 8, Destiny 2. Oh,
I can't even
boo.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Number 7, Forza Horizon 4.
Woohoo!
That's the Xbox exclusive, guys. Number 6, Madden NFL 19. It's going to be up there just like FIFA is at 4. But in between those two are number 5, that's Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Oh, yeah. Which, is it still a good game?
Game of the year.
Do you still like it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Game
still
of
good?
the year. Wow.
Whoa. Number 3, John's other game of the year, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Game
That's
of the
funny.
year, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Number 2, Chris's Jam, NBA 2K19. Jam! And number 1, a solid contender for possible game of the year from all of us here.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Marvel Spider-Man, Game of the year.
Marvel Spider-Man at
Which
number
I
1.
think after this month now is, if you're looking for the 12 months, Far Cry 5 is still the number 1 selling game of the year, but this is already, I think, number 2. No, it's number 3 behind God of War for the year. I mean, I have no doubt that in the end, Spider-Man will probably be the highest exclusive.
Shaun, that robot VR game has a shot. Just keep
No,
the
it
faith.
doesn't.
Keep the
That
faith.
game is amazing. You will not bash it. Not everybody has VRs, John, on a Sony PlayStation unit, okay? So hey.
And for those wondering out there, you're like, wait a minute, this is MPD for September. Why are NBA 2K and Assassin's Creed and Forza all on this list?
Who would wonder that, Chris? Come on.
John would.
Okay.
He asked me. MPD's like weeks this time because of the way I guess they go through the first week of the month, like where it ends, right? Therefore it went through the 5th, which was when October 5th was their last day for September. They counted, which is when All 3 of those games, I think, came out. Anyways.
Have we been told whether this is 5 or V?
It's definitely
5.
5. It's definitely 5.
Not V for victory?
No, because that would be dumb.
Sure,
and
Shaun.
only people that didn't play it would know that.
So does spelling your name Shaun.
Whatever, Jon.
What?
Whatever.
That's in the Bible, fool.
Whatever, Jon.
Bible.
Is it in the Bible?
What up, John?
I thought John was John in the Bible.
Nope.
Yeah.
Is Jon? Is it on the King Francis II, the 3rd edition? What? James.
Battlefield 5 news. Electronic Arts and EA Dice have announced that Battlefield 5's Battle Royale mode,
With cheese.
Firestorm, will not launch until March of 2019.
What do you call Battle Royale mode in France?
See, that's a Tarantino movie right there, John. Get it?
Battlefield 5 will not include microtransactions at launch. This is new to me because I was told that they weren't going to be doing it at all. But that's not the case here.
Yeah.
Instead, they will be added post-launch using a paid in-game currency called Battlefield currency. But DICE promises they will only be used for cosmetic items.
Or that will be the end of Electronic Arts.
Yeah.
Quote, we want players to get hands-on experience with their company, the progression system, and earning company coin before introducing premium currency. Balanced rock, paper, scissors gameplay has always been the foundation of the Battlefield series, and our belief is that real-world money should not enable pay to win or pay for power.
Regardless, okay, so the microtransaction stuff, okay, cool. I don't have a problem with it. On the other hand, this Firestorm stuff, they need to just delay this game. It does. I understand it's not going to get delayed. There's no way EA will delay this because it's their fall game. But you're launching your game without what is the biggest mode right now, and Call of Duty's out and it has this mode.
Okay.
They need to just, if it's not ready, get it out.
Let's look at it this way. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Call of Duty and how they separate going forward their Battle Royale mode, how they put that behind. What are they going to do next year? Put it behind a $60 paywall again or something like that? We don't know.
But at least it's there.
Exactly. But now we know with Battlefield, it seems like their strategy is probably to distance their game from their Battle Royale mode. It might be the smarter call going forward. And look, you're sticking a Battle Royale mode from a major developer, Battlefield, in the middle of spring when nothing else is surrounding it. That's probably a good idea. It's probably the best. It's probably the best idea going forward for EA.
Possibly. But if the game loses steam and no one's playing it, it's not going to generate the buzz it may need or that it can garner.
But that gives them plenty of room to make a separate announcement later on going, this game is a free-to-play mode.
If they do that, that's the only way. I will say this. If they're going to separate that mode off and say, hey, we're just putting Firestorm out as free-to-play, kind of like Fortnite did back then, and if you own Battlefield 5, you get these perks that maybe you don't get if you, with Fortnite when it originally launched in Battle Royale and launched on that. Fine. But I don't think that's what they're going to do because EA... That's not the way EA works.
Yeah, EA is the kind of company that wants 70% profits now as opposed to 100% profits in 3 months.
Yeah, and if you're EA, you're going to keep this all together. It's just going to sit there. No one's really concerned with this game right now because it's not in a good spot anymore, right? It's like, I think the week after Fallout 76 is out. And for those who own a Switch, I think right around the corner right after that is Smash. So I can't see, no one seems to be hype on this game right now. In
fairness, no one seems to be hype on Fallout 76. I bet you they're banking on that. Like, you guys think you're going to like this Fallout game, but as IGN said, it seems like it's DLC for Fallout 4.
But
when people see that, they're going to move on to Battlefield 5.
But no one, I can't see that because people who play Fallout, they're not playing. Most of them are not going to be playing that. But here's the thing. I'm not Battlefield. Like, if you're playing Fallout 76, I don't see you just all of a sudden jumping ship to go play Battlefield 5.
But you just said it's a mistake to release Battlefield 5 a week after Fallout 76.
Yes, because I do think.
So if they're not the same audience, what does it matter?
Well, I think they are to some degree, but I think if you're someone who is buying Fallout, that's probably your priority. And as I said before, that kind of got proven the last time because as we mentioned earlier, that was the best-selling non-Call of Duty game release before Red Dead came out this past week. So to me, I'm kind of looking at and saying, yeah, critics might not be high on that game, but I don't have any concern that Fallout 76 will sell because just about everyone I know that's like a diehard Fallout fan, they're still buying that game. They're still playing the beta right now and trying it out and seeing if it's something for them. This, on the other hand, this feels like, I don't want to say to the extent of Titanfall bad, because that was pretty bad.
No, I don't see that at all.
Like,
I think they're missing the opportunity to capitalize on the wave that is the Royale mode.
Yeah.
In a game. Hey, John, in March, if you look back and you were like, hey, I told you guys this would work out for them. That'll be great because that gives the gamer several avenues now to play their Royale mode of choice, whether it's Fortnite, the Blackout mode in Call of Duty, or now the Firestorm here. That's great. We have choice, but I just have a feeling that they're missing the beat a little bit.
I'm not saying it's going to work out.
Yeah.
I don't even know that it will. I'm just telling you what I think. People are sitting around in a boardroom going, all right, here's our situation with Battle Royale. It's not ready. What do we do?
We can't release it.
They're like,
well,
okay, we have a responsibility to our investors and we've got to release. And look, to its credit, it's riding on the critical success, which quite frankly was a Game of the Year contender in Battlefield 1. That game got crazy good reviews. More better reviews than Call of Duty has for the past 10 years.
Don't matter. It wasn't
sure,
Call of
yeah,
Duty.
that was 2 years ago. And I guess it's one of those things that, I understand. Like, you're right in the sense that the reason it's coming out is it's EA, it's a public company. That's their fall game.
Yeah.
You know, they don't count FIFA. That's something they bank out on every year. Usually it's either this or it's going to be, I'm sure next year it'll be a new Battlefront game, right? Or unless they have another Star Wars game ready. As far as this though, I think what's going to happen is you're going to get the PC people who have always been Battlefield fans. Sure, they'll probably show up and play, but console, they're not going to care. They're just going to keep playing Call of Duty and Fortnite. That's what they're going to do because
20 million units sold by December.
It's
double
them.
or nothing.
None of us won
them.
because Battlefield beat them all.
That'd be weird. But, I think more than likely though, even when the smoke comes out, it will just be a side thing. Because again, EA's focus on this, it's not going to be on that come March. It's going to be on Anthem and making Anthem the biggest thing ever because they know that's a new potential revenue stream. So it just feels like classic EA. This will get buried. And in the end, what could have been something that again gets more people to say, hey, I need to come back to DICE, especially after all the stuff that went down with Battlefront. I think more than likely they're just it's going to get lost in the shuffle. I feel bad for it, but it's the truth.
I mean, it's possible, but I will say something that hasn't got lost in the old video game shuffle. Would be the old Nintendo Switch.
Hey,
the headline is that the Switch sales passed 22 million. That's right. The Nintendo Switch continues to sell well.
That's right.
The latest financial report is placing the console at nearly 23 million units since its launch. Mm-hmm. Furthermore, the Switch managed to sell 5 million units over the last 6 months, which is an increase compared to this time last year. That's pretty legit, I guess. The Switch has almost doubled the number of Wii U's that were sold.
Ouch. That console.
22 million.
22 is pretty good.
I don't know how it's tracking right now compared to what PS4 did in that span of time.
I would imagine it's slowing down.
You think so? Might be.
Yeah. Cause like PS4 was historic for a good while. And even here, like this year.
The Switch was outpacing the PlayStation 4 when it first came out.
Yeah. It had that big swell at the beginning and then it's kind of gone down since. Which is fine. I mean, it's not like 23 millions shipped since launch, or 22, whichever one it is anything to scoff at, right? They're doing perfectly fine. It's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, PS4 is just its own beast, right? There's a reason why, like this week we were talking about, even though Red Dead is best to play on Xbox, everyone's saying on Xbox One X, it's like something like 70% of people are playing on PS4.
Yeah, ittle be 3-1.
Yeah. I mean, and that doesn't surprise me.
People don't know what's good for them.
This is true.
Yeah.
Kind of like a boy and fish sandwiches from
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey,
Or
recall.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Switch,
Yay. Okay.
We got more news, John?
more,
Yeah?
more games are coming.
Yeah.
It has
Yay.
been announced that a number of new titles are coming to Nintendo Switch. Vampire,
Vampire.
Boo.
which is a game that if Jonathan could get away with it, would put him on his top 10 list. The action role-playing game released for
one's judging you.
PC,
Yeah, you got your-
PS4,
you got your own
and
list.
Xbox One is officially coming to Nintendo Switch.
John.
It would appear that the game has experienced enough success to be able to move it to the hybrid console. Also coming from the horror genre is Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil, and Resident Evil 0, which I didn't add. Thus furthering
Dumb.
Capcom's commitment to supporting the console, it appears that all titles are coming in 2019.
What was that last part there?
2019.
Yeah, there you go. That's a little better.
2019.
Yay. Games.
That's cool.
Vampire would probably sit around 6 or 7 on my list.
You can put it on your list.
I love that game
I'm just
so much.
saying.
I think they've made enough money to do a sequel if they wanted to. I'd love that.
Do it.
I'd love that.
We're not done with Nintendo yet.
Are you sure?
Because
Jeez,
there's
bias.
more DLC for Nintendo Switch franchises and whatnot. Nintendo President Shintaro Furukawa has stated that he wants to see more DLC for existing major titles on Nintendo consoles. Quote, "We need continuous growth. We must keep releasing new software.
Yeah.
That includes DLCs and other content for big titles that are already out. This would indicate that DLC for major titles like Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are already in the works."
Wait, are they talking about Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
I don't know
No.
why I put that on there.
Huh?
No.
What are you talking
Why
about?
why was Odyssey on there?
Mario Odyssey.
Oh,
Mario
God.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
I knew that already.
Super
Just
Mario.
saying.
Super Mario. Oh, yeah.
Here we
I
go.
feel bad. Last year's game of the year.
Yeah.
Would not be if Red Dead came out.
That's it. It's still a great game, Chris.
It is. It
You
is a
still have
great
your
game.
Switch? Yeah, you do. It's right over there.
Look at there.
I know you have your Xbox.
That's, yeah. Pivot. Are you going to read?
I so know you have your Xbox, Chris.
Well, let me tell you about Xbox free games for November because someone else can't.
Do it,
Battlefield
John.
1.
Do it.
November 1st.
It's your turn.
Yeah. November 1st through 30th is Battlefield 1. Race the Sun, November 16th through December 15th. Assassin's Creed from the first half of the month and Dante's Inferno the back of the month. Got you there, buddy.
Why didn't you read, John?
Yeah, you were like spaced out.
Were you doing a thing?
You forgot it was your turn, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Nope, we're good. No,
Was it a bit?
it was a bit that just looked like it failed.
I don't know.
It was
it was
pretty-
dead air, yeah.
So now
But
you're gonna
speaking of failure,
now you're going to read mine.
no, I'm not going to read yours.
You got to read mine. I'm
I
saying
don't want to read yours.
You got to read mine because I want to read the next one.
Fine, I'll read this boring one. Sonic Team Racing delayed.
Deep.
Sega.
Sega has
Sega.
announced to delay Team Sonic Racing with a new release date for
John.
May 21st, 2019.
2019. Look, this news story deserves the credit of any news story we
Show some respect.
John, tighten up, sir.
In a statement,
It's terrible.
Sega says the decision was made, quote, to deliver the crappiest quality experience to fans. I'm sorry. That's not right. That's not right.
That's not right. What are you doing? Tighten up, sir. Be a professional.
Quote, to deliver the highest quality experience to fans, and the extra time will ensure delivering an unforgettable experience that fans can enjoy for years to come. End quote.
Yay.
Anybody playing Sonic Team Racing?
No.
All right.
Probably
Well,
not,
for those
but
of you out
you never
there
know.
that wanted to play it, I'm sorry to break your heart that it was delayed.
I know a lot of people enjoyed the original, so
I don't even remember when they said it was supposed to come out.
Well,
probably some point.
yeah,
Did you just say at some point?
at
Yeah.
some point, and at
They were
some
like,
point,
it's coming out at some point.
we should have realized that talking about 22 million units for the Switch
Yeah.
was laughable compared to the PlayStation, as Chris brought up. That's because they have passed 85 million.
Jesus.
Sony has revealed that the PS4 and PS4 Pro have combined sold 86.1 million units as of the end of the company's last fiscal quarter. When was that, John?
That's 5 years.
That's physical quarter.
That says fiscal.
Physical.
Let's get physical.
That says fiscal. Sony has increased the forecast for PS4 sales to 17.5 million from
Ooh.
17 million. That's a 0.5 million upgrade. This uptick can be attributed to an increase of software sales, most notably Most notably from Spider-Man.
Speederman.
Notably.
Fiscal.
Good for them.
The audience got it. You didn't.
It was a thing. We did it. You can eat a big fat one.
I'm sure they'll sell 17.5 million next year too.
You think?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the people's console.
The people's console.
Just saying. For the common folk.
Well, speaking of the people's console and the
Ooh.
games that they have,
Yeah, they got some hits.
It sucks.
They got some hits.
It sucks.
They got hits.
More games for PlayStation hits.
Yeah.
Those are titles that you can buy for $20.
As the article will say. Several more games have been announced.
It doesn't.
Several more games have been announced to be added to PlayStation Hits roster for once. Beginning November 2nd, the PlayStation Hits line will drop the price for Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, Until Dawn, Batman Arkham Knight, Mortal Kombat 10, UFC 2, Need for Speed, and Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. The PlayStation...
That's not in that game.
Oh.
The PlayStation Hits program applies to both retail and digital.
Very nice. Are there any?
Does anyone really here consider UFC 2 to be a definitive PlayStation?
Sometimes you would see the hits come out and you'd be like, huh. So that's a hit, huh?
Like everything else, I'm like, okay, maybe not Need for Speed either, because that one was,
maybe not Mortal Kombat X.
No, that's popular. That's a big
popular.
Well,
You could play as the Predator.
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, das ist gut, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, Shaun.
What?
What about if you wanted to play hits from a different generation?
Speaking of PlayStation hits! And John did that for whoever was reading it, because he put the thing there. And then Chris did it too, so thank you guys for the teamwork. Sony has announced...
like Pete Sampras.
Sony has announced a full lineup of games that will be featured on PlayStation Classic. This is big news if you remember. The Classic's coming out. It's all tiny. They're trying to do like the Nintendo did and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But here are the games. All of these massive classic games, okay?
A lot of good stuff.
Here we go. Battle Arena Toshinden. Cool Borders 2.
That game is the jam.
Yeah. There's no
What?
Boo.
What are you
Had
gonna
a joke. Failed. Boo.
How do you like it?
I'm booing myself.
Boo.
Self-discriminate. Boo.
Failing so much this week.
Destruction Derby.
That's also a jam.
Final Fantasy VII.
Sucks.
Classic jam.
Grand Theft Auto. Intelligent Cube. Jumping Flash.
Haven't played it.
Metal Gear Solid.
Woo!
Mr. Driller. That's what I named my Richard.
I was typing that going, Shaun is going to go
Who's
there.
calling you?
Hey, how you doing?
Speaking of.
Speaking of the wife and Mr. Driller. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey.
That's a classic.
Rayman.
Love it.
Resident Evil Director's Cut.
Love it.
Revelations Persona.
Maybe I'll finally play a Persona game.
Ridge Racer Type 4.
Ridge Racer! I love it.
Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yay.
Siphon Filter.
There it is.
There it is, Chris. Tekken 3.
Yeah.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
Yes.
Twisted Metal.
How did we not think of that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is solid, and rounding it up down here in the old W is Wild Arms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple of things on this list that aren't on here that I'd like to see, but for the most part, it's a pretty solid.
It's solid, dude. It's
pretty solid. Like, there's some games on here I was reading, like, you just can't even get anywhere anymore because the publisher doesn't exist, right? So obviously they had to go to great lengths to secure these properties and get them. And it's just really cool. Like, I think of things like Cool Borders 2 and Destruction Derby from that era, and I do think of PlayStation. And while I don't know how much either one of those will hold up to the test of time, I think they're important pieces to video games.
Like I said, we'll see how they make these games look. You hope. Now, they're not the way your memory, and we say this a lot, the way your memory remembers how a title looks doesn't always translate to when you see the actual thing again. The Nintendo games like the 16-bit and the 8-bit games hold up because that's what they are. But now when you start going to like the Nintendo 64 era, the PlayStation original OG era, these things were like polygonal and weird. You thought they looked good, but it was just a mess on the screen.
A mess.
Yeah, so we'll see. You excited about any of them, John? I kind of want to get one now.
I think I'll pick one up at some point, but it's definitely not it's not that excitement that I had for
You don't have an emotional attachment to any of these.
Well, not even that. It's just,
Why you got to be so heartless?
Oh, you're right. I should shut up. Go ahead.
You like Kanye now. Wait, what? Shaun got the joke.
Oh, MAGA.
That's all that matters.
Um,
Super Smash Direct.
Hey, was that
yeah, it was. Finally this week.
Go, John.
We've been doing this for almost 2 hours.
In that order.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Go, John.
Here's cab money. Super Smash Direct. Nintendo has announced that there will be a Nintendo Direct discussing more details as if we needed them.
I was thinking the same thing, John.
On Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The presentation will stream on November 1st at 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
That's early in the morning.
Yes. The Direct will cover roughly 40 minutes of new information.
What else could there be?
I think there were some rumors circling, right?
Yeah.
Circling last week about new characters being introduced. They talked about it on Nintendo Voice Chat. I forgot all of them because I just don't know. I don't
care.
None of them
Care's the
registered.
word.
You don't care.
Well, none of them
You
registered.
don't care.
Yeah.
Right. This will also be, look, I was sold when they announced Simon Belmont. I mean, that's where I am.
Yeah.
So this will also be the final Direct before the game launches, thank God, on December 7th. The Direct will also be followed, and this is what I care about, Shaun,
Yeah, me
by
too.
Nintendo Treehouse Live to discuss Pokemon
Let's
Go,
go!
Pikachu and Eevee, Yoshi's Crafted World, and Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, which they reviewed today on IGN. I've referenced IGN several times today. They gave it a 9. They gave it a 9.
Well, we peruse the different video game sites that have information.
I think it was
You
much
do.
lower elsewhere, but who knows?
How much lower elsewhere?
I think I don't know how many reviews have come out since when I
You
looked
can't
at
do
earlier.
that, Chris. You can't.
When I
say,
looked on Metacritic, it was saying a 71
that's fine.
average,
That's
right?
playable.
Is that right?
It's great. It's a great poop
I
game.
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Let's kill and loot while we poop.
Anyways, you guys,
Yeah.
do you guys want to
That's
wrap
it.
this up?
That's it.
Just to be
That's
safe.
Yeah,
Why is that it, Chris?
because we're at 156.
Who cares? You can't do that. Is there anything you want to add on Smash for real? Don't
Wait.
be a Richard, dude.
Oh, that's not in Smash? Is there anything I want announced for Smash? I mean,
Are you getting Smash?
yeah, I'll probably get Smash.
All right, you can't say yeah. You can't come out the gate hot with a yeah,
Yeah.
and then quickly go to probably.
I mean, they've included so much in that game. I'm fine. You know,
It's
right
kind
now,
of-
if anything
look.
that's added is just gravy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Bang
But
for
it's
your
like-
buck, man.
It's like it's exhausting how many fighters are on there.
Yeah.
Good thing,
Is
but
it?
at the same time, it's exhausting. What is it like 60 at this point?
That's a lot of.
I think so.
Every Street Fighter,
But still
character,
still no Waluigi. He's still,
yeah, he's
He's getting added. It's going down.
that'd be a good idea.
that would be a big announcement. Hopefully for his case he does. You want to wrap this up?
Never.
I hope someone's walking by since I didn't shut these blinds.
What if you had an orgasm like that?
Just
Am I allowed to say orgasm on the show?
Nah, that's fine.
just.
If you want to write your thoughts in to Weekly Games Chat, you can do so by writing them to weeklygameschat@gmail.com, just like Toby did.
He has Quish.
Yes, he has a question. And he writes in and says, "This is my first time typing in and I had a question."
We'll be gentle.
Okay. As I was listening to the past Assassin's Creed Origins episode, it occurred to me that some game series have had dramatic positive changes from the first game to their second. For example, Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. I was wondering what your top 3 sequels that were better than the original. Sorry if you already talked about it and missed it, thanks for your time and game on.
Game on.
P.S. What song do you use for the podcast? I always
the
get
end of the podcast because Chris just omits words from his speaking that you type, and I'm here to personally apologize to you, Toby, because Chris, I don't know what his deal is.
I can't remember right now.
Well, that's not it because that's John's
either
timer or ringtone or something else.
I think we've said it before on another episode though.
Well, maybe you can get back to him on that.
Yeah, we can get back to him. I think it's him something. I can't.
Don't even.
It's like a Japanese name. But it's free to use. I found it one day and I was like, this is really cool. And I played it for them and they were like, hey,
I'm down. Let's
do
this.
But maybe if I can find it, I'll post a link to it on the Twitters for you. Cause I think he wrote this in on Twitter as well. Right, Shaun?
I don't know.
He did. I saw it.
I do know, Chris, but I was going to say, be suspenseful for when we talk on Twitter. Just
like when you were talking about BlackRock.
Are you going to talk about the three? Yeah. Are you going to talk about the three?
Yeah, three video games,
or just
3 sequels. That are better than the original in my book. Mass Effect 2 is probably the biggest, which is really weird because Mass Effect 1 is also a really great game. Assassin's Creed 2 is definitely up there for sequels that just completely surprised me. And then I would say, even though it's not from the first to the second, I did play Witcher 2 and I enjoyed it. But from that to Witcher 3 was a mind-blowingly better experience for me. You guys got any?
I don't think I have anything for this one.
Well, you don't think like a Halo 2 from a Halo 1?
Maybe Dead Space 2 to Dead Space 1, but
Mario 2 to Mario 1?
That goes from a game.
1?
No, not right. Mario 2.
Zelda, Link to the Past.
I do like Zelda 2 better than the original Zelda.
Yeah, but for some reason, I can't really think of something that's just standing out there other than the Assassin's Creed 2 Ezio introduction from Assassin's Creed 1. For me, that just really stands out. Mm-hmm. I'm lost for anything. I don't know what to do right now. I'm watching Chris try to find a song, and because he don't want to have the responsibility to get back to this guy after we move on, and he's going through his folders, and there's a hidden folder that he left where we could see it, and he shouldn't have done that. And
I'm trying to look for it real quick.
You feel that's not it.
It's one of these two.
That could be it.
Let's see.
Let's play that. Let's see what happens, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so the song is called Adventures by Himitsu. Himitsu.
Yeah.
Himitsu.
So Adventures by Himitsu. It's on SoundCloud. There's no copyright.
Yeah. It's no copyright music. Anyways, on Facebook.
What?
Yeah,
we have one of those.
Yeah, you can find us at Weekly Games Chat on Facebook. I posted our image that hopefully you're seeing this week for the show, and I got 2 posts on that. And someone loves the image. Why didn't you love it, Shaun?
I don't have a Facebook.
Ouch!
You got rid of it, and you know I'm lying, and you let me lie.
Why are you a liar?
Dirty, dirty liar.
First up, Clay wrote in and said, excited for the thoughts. I haven't much time with the game due to having to be an adult, Chris. Just want to let you guys, I really enjoy the podcast every week. I listen to every episode since October 2016. You poor soul.
Thank you.
You guys feel like a circle of good friends to shoot you can't say that we're on the podcast.
He can say that, but
he can say it. We can't
to shoot
say
the poo with, Chris.
Also, I'm from Cincinnati and the craft beer scene is outrageous here. I'll send some Cincy love your way for the holiday. Ooh, Clay,
that'll be
I'll take that.
Fantastic, Clay.
By the time of this reading, Game On. And great episode as usual.
Game on to you,
Clay.
Game on, Thank you. Thank you for the listen since 2016, yo.
Ever, who has written in a good bit.
You guys know Ever?
Yeah, he says, I've been playing this game since Thursday, 11 p.m., bought it digital. Took it to work, took off work Friday, took off Monday, and still going strong in this game. Hey, I got you beat. I took off Tuesday too, Ever. Game of the year contender for me for sure. May even beat out God of War for me.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's what a lot of people are saying, man.
Shaun, what were they saying on the Twitterverse?
Well, we had one guy, at El Paiso
Diablo?
Mojado. He actually created his Twitter account just like you could do if you don't have one and you want to interact. was a new listener and wanted to just reach out and say hello. Look
Hello.
forward to hearing me butcher his Twitter handle, which hopefully I didn't. Also, we talked about a couple of things that we tried to correct off air, but him and his girlfriend, I guess that's the code name O, they're expecting their first baby girl end of the year.
Yay.
So, first of all, congrats, and I did send you some advice because you did ask for advice. Basically, I said take pictures, sleep as much as you can because that's going to be golden. And I love diapers and diaper genies because they were the jam. I didn't like germs at the time. I was kind of a germaphobe.
That's funny.
But that all changed. Here we go. So at Nat_the_Gooner, this is weird to me because isn't he like in England or something?
Yes, I believe
right?
so.
But he sent a picture of Krispy Kreme donuts. They're a live edition, so I guess they're all Halloween themed.
Ooh.
With his copy of Red Dead Redemption 2. And it says, yeehaw, I will definitely 100% complete one of these two things. Smiling. I'm sure it was the donuts if I had to guess because, other stuff.
True.
I actually put out a tweet about who was all loving and playing Red Dead Redemption 2 the day after the Red Sox won the World Series, John. That was no shot at you. And we had at Jay Single Heart basically liked it and said that there was a reason. He loved our guys, Game On and Go Sox. I'm the only one here that would say Go Sox back to you.
Ooh.
So there that is. At Mario and Lando said that I could not wait for our next episode. By the way, what we're reviewing this week, which is funny.
That's funny. It's a VR title.
Yeah, because there's that. At Raymond Price has played 23 hours of Red Dead over the weekend. Loving the game, of course. At S10, Driving Kelly was like, I'd be playing if stupid work didn't get in the way. So there's always that.
That's always a pain.
Let me make
Stupid
sure we got
capitalism.
Oh yeah, I missed that. Thank you. I did want to say thank you to at David_McClendon. He actually mentioned us, and for anyone interested, which was me, GameStop had a deal through this past weekend for $100 off an Xbox One X with Red Dead Redemption 2 with a big trade in if you were going to trade in another console like an Xbox One S or a PlayStation or something.
Yeah.
They're going to have more Black Friday sales, but that was a really, really good one.
That was a good one.
Oh yeah, Tobias. Just like you said, I'm going to like it now. If we see this, what music do we have for the ending? Chris has answered that for you. Make sure I got nothing else. You guys are strolling through. What do you want? Facebook?
Yeah, Black Adam Schiefer. It's the greatest thing ever.
It really, really is. I think the next things are just a couple of follows I want to put out there. Yeah, we should be good. So now let's go to follows.
Yay.
I want to go here. I want to go to followers because we got some new ones. At Toxic Toy Box. Thank you for the following
Good
you
name.
back. They have cool stuff for our unique personalities, guys. At 11 Sneaker Freak. That person is a promoter and event planner and father. Always putting God and Instagram, or God first, and then they're also on Instagram. So I messed that up.
Always
Putting God and Instagram first, Joe. And at Gaming Zone AT. This is a German fella, and I know that because it says Gaming ist ein Marktgemeinde mit 3180 something something. And as you can tell, that's not English. It was probably German because he said Gaming ist ein.
Gaming ist ein.
Yeah, so there's that. But thank you guys for the that's so awesome. Thank you.
I love him
There was
so much.
a Homer Simpson. You've seen it where he goes in the bush, comes out of the bush. That's something else. He goes in as a Dodgers fan, comes out as a Rams fan because, that whole deal. But thank you so much for the love and support on Twitter.
I like
John's laughing because Chris is doing things where John's not, can't help but laugh because Chris is a jerk. Chris, I've told them they can find me on Twitter. I thank them for that. And now you tell them once again where they can find us on Facebook or on mail. and we'll wrap this thing up.
If you want to write into the show, you can do so again by writing into weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com. Obviously, if you want to find us on social media, we're on both Facebook and Twitter, both at Weekly Games Chat. If you like the show, subscribe to us and you'll get a new episode just like this one every Wednesday, though you won't probably get to hear every week as awesome about a game as Red Dead. But you know what? We do our best with what we got. Sometimes we carry it, right? Like when someone talks about things like Astro Boy. He's completely checked out.
No, Astro Boy was a good game.
No, he took a note of it. He took a note of it, and he'll kill you later.
Yeah. He's like, when the recording
You're not
ends,
riding with me to food, I'll tell you that much.
I'm already in your Jeep.
I'll see you later.
But if you're there when you subscribe to us on whatever podcast service you use, and they've got some sort of rating or review system, you can give us a like, a follow, whatever, 5 stars, 4 stars if that's the high, 10 stars if that's the high. And it will help people find the show because that's how those algorithms work on those services. If you don't like the show, take whatever the score that's the highest is, subtract 1, divide it in 2, and then do what, Shaun?
Double it!
And you will have the official score of hatred that you can give to things you don't like. This is true for everything on the web. I don't know why I just said that because I don't want people.
Everything on the web is
that
true.
Way. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's always factual.
Yeah, and
Never a lie.
Al Gore invented the internet. So
That's true because it's on the internet.
I just say things.
Until next week.
See, John,
what the heck are we going to talk about? I have no idea, but we'll figure something out.
We could talk about Castlevania Season 2.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna, man, I'm sick next Tuesday, guys.
How'd you not watch that this weekend?
I did.
Oh, did you?
I just forgot to mention it. That's why I just threw that in there.
There you go.
So
There you
sick.
go.
Bye.
Felicia.
Who knows? We'll talk. Oh, there is that Witcher game. I could get that too.
There's stuff.
That's a real game.
We got stuff.
It's not a thing.
We got stuff.
Yeah, we'll find
And
something.
maybe we'll talk about,
I don't know.
didn't we do that one time when we didn't have a game?
Ooh.
We talked about Castlevania.
We did do that.
Yeah, we
did do that.
Season 1.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll figure
Pretty
something out.
good.
But until that time, I will simply say
What episode is this?
177, I think, or 78. It's one or the other.
That's a lot of episodes, right?
Yeah. Every day, I feel like my beard's getting a little longer and grayer.
You gotta give the people what they want, Chris. Can you drop a you on them?
Oh, well, I don't know if I can.
I can only say that. Because
You shall not.
and then you say the thing about the
Bring me wood and
yeah,
oil.
Then the brandy something, Brandy Brook. What do you say?
No, I don't know.
I don't know. It comes in pints?
You say
I'm
something?
getting one.
Hello,
Sam.
little
Yeah,
masters.
you doing old Sam good?
Oh,
The
Sam. Don't you leave him, guys.
Or the end.
Gandalf.
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 I love
fantastic.
Kevin Smith's take
That
on
only
that.
counts as one.
You'll have to toss me. I couldn't make the jump myself.
Don't tell the elf.
Hey, there's a Legolas something coming out. Speaking of that,
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
Legolas.
It may be a Legolas pop or something that's coming out.
I'll get that.
There you go.
It's pretty dope. We'll end on that, huh?
You know what? That's the only pop that can see you from 2 miles away. So there you go.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Legolas-
Until next time.
Legolas, what do your Elvis eyes see?
2 miles.
Walks. Whatever it is, I can't remember. Until next time, I will simply say game on, Shaun.
Game on, Christopher.
Game on, John. Don't ever call it Christopher again.
Sorry, little buddy.
Game on, John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Game on, Shaun. Game on, Chris.
Game on, Jonathan.
Chief. Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Man, F this.
I'm going to go play more Red Dead.